Whole time I'm talking, y'all can't even hear nothing. Yeah, shalom, beloveds. What a do world. I forgot I had it on the other screen. Should have made some tea. I have been drinking water though. Yeah, I have been drinking the water. Straight water. Straight water. Hope everybody's good out there in the world. You know, the world is splishing and splashing as much, you know. But still got to get the word out. It's always good to wake up and get everything out of the way. So, but let me make sure I got this. Anyways, nonetheless, so we got everybody. We got some stuff going on out there. Let me make sure. Let me look at the map. Get global on that real quick. Let me bring this down. Bring it back. Nope, wrong one. There we go. I know some stuff happened. And I'm just like, no, we can't skip out on that. Plus, I've been wanting to see what that looked like. I'm surprised it hopped over the island. They saying is it a country? I don't know. That's a good question. 1 second. Is it Madagascar? Yeah, it's a country. Okay, yes, Madagascar is a country, specifically an island country located in the southeastern coast of Africa, making it the world's 4th largest island. Paying attention to that workflow right there. This one's taking a long time to sweep over here, but Australia is just gone, just fried all the way. Got more activity. It's starting to kick up over there. How you doing that? Stay straight. There we go. I think that's my finger. It's my pink finger. I know it's going in and out. So what's over there in Japan? A geological event, sinkholes near Tokyo merge. Man still trapped on day. Curious and struggle to save truck driver trapped in sinkhole. Okay. Yeah, it's going down in Taiwan as well. There's been a lot going on. A couple videos. I don't think I have one. I think I have. Where is that? I want to say Germany or France. 15 injured in roof collapse. Yeah. I know some stuff going on in the Middle East. It wasn't it like something like Mecca? I think so. The impacts is breaking out over there. The earthquake activity, I've been paying attention to that. Yeah, the Himalayas are splitting, and it's snowing right now too. So yeah, it's interesting. It's like, what is this, a fire? No, it's an outdoor fire in Nepal. And like no wildfire, but nonetheless, it's still something going on. Obviously, I don't even need to go no farther than there because it's like all war stricken. It's been trying to see things in certain areas that got like ley lines and major volcanic activity. Increased volcanic activity detected in Greece. Popular tourist island of Santorini. So Santorini. Santorini. So Greece is right there. So that whole region is just like these upper plates is definitely going through some stuff. Because this ain't the first time. Like it's starting to trickle, bouncing. Peace and blessings to everybody out there. What's going on in Spain? Some blasts, explosions. What is that? I be seeing figures I ain't never seen before. Oh, that's a student. No, that's that Serbian march. I did see that though. There's been a lot of protests, y'all. Like everywhere. It definitely has been a ramp up. Breakdown energy supply system, around 100,000 people without power 7 days after storm in Ireland. Yeah, there's been house fire at the house fire. It's a lot. Let's go to Africa. Africa definitely is still. What is it? Over a dozen. Over a dozen. Over a dozen. Saying plane crash. How plane crashes? What? That's weird. In Uganda. Yeah, that was yesterday. What is in Nigeria? Okay, 2 workers. So it's a lot of the same. This one spot has just been rocking and rolling at the same point. And it's super blazing down. It's summertime in these regions right now. So this is all cooked. Everything that was all had potential forest. I don't know why it moved. Come on now. I didn't even move my finger. There we go. That activity is crazy though. It's still moving like it's on all the plates. All the plates have activity right now. 19 people found dead on a vessel near Caribbean nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So, here's activity on a ring of fire on Mexico. It's fire and it's raining up there. How is that? It's a cluster. Two clusters up in Northern California. Deep South brace for rare winter storm. That was the other day. Oh, that's an older one. And then, of course, there's activity there still. They haven't updated nothing on there. It's just still there. There's still that accident there. What is it, Montreal? Apartment. It's a lot of apartments. It just they ill properly structured. Not built to sustain. Like people just built a lot of these apartments. With the same type of build, and it's like they're going through. They're ringing out because you built them in locations where you should have had better, proper building material for the regions. When you got a one size fits all, that's just not going to work. And then when quality of work is like cheap quality, poor quality, not of, especially not of blessed hands. So thousands of Costco workers prepared to strike with midnight contract deadline looming. That is in Kansas. I saw about 4 or 5 other articles about strikes right now. Like, definitely, I don't. I don't think I pulled it up right now, but that might be the case. So, uh, yeah, what's up here? So it's fire in Montreal. I think Brother Yehoshua stayed there. Then you got North India, it's extreme rain up there. An epidemic from dessert recall. A salmonella outbreak. That's weird. It's interesting. I don't know why it's not showing up all them earthquakes up here. Definitely, if you start getting close, you got two. You got two in a race. You hit that corner. It's not bad. Everything good was. That's a drought. Yeah, that's a drought. That was early last updated. It's still the same. Most of the time, most of these will stay up here. They're just the same, but they are there. Calgary. Persistent thick fog. That fog is definitely going to be kicking up. I definitely want to see what the flares is going to do because that would, the volcanoes is kicking up. Hold on, let me see where. There we go. Let's get this one out of the way. Mm. Yes, and it's interesting. These are popping up now because these are knocking them. These are knocking my hats off my walls. I'll sit here and I'll literally wait till something happen and do boom. So um, these are felt, and when you see the trajectory of how far it reaches out here, you can imagine when it's popping up in other regions where the infrastructure is not as solid as it would, typically be over here. But when you're looking at the same trajectory, how much these boom that reaches out there, boom, 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 it's reaching out everywhere. And you're getting a cluster like you see way up at the top here. That starts adding up. All of these have been adding up. All these little jabs. Mm, mm. Wow. It's not showing up. They're not trying to show that. That's crazy. That's hilarious. Oh, my bad. Everybody that's on TikTok, you can't hear anything that's being played, or you gotta go to one of the other channels to be able to listen. What do you mean if you're able to what do you mean you're not able to put that up? You're able to dock everything else down to down to the 0.7th. Like, you kidding me? 0.3 way down here in the corner pocket, bottom left. So, like, oh, it's not able to read it? No, come on now. That goes to show you how much is, like, really being shown and told on on truth and being revealed, things would get skewed. Things would get skewed. Mhm, mhm, mm. It just oh, wow. Mm, mhm. See, they'll show up with that super volcano, and that's why it's interesting to be hearing his reaction as a person who has gone to school and done all this other work and, advent at it. And so when you got that data popping up for another location, but you don't got it showing up over here at this location, did not just particularly sniff that out real quick, Just had to show y'all that real quick. Name. Mm. Yeah, yeah, like, why would y'all not have the data for that one as well? Mhm. Nonstop 205. Man, Taiwan. Wow. Mm. That whole little diamond. Look how it's almost like at all 4 points, like, you got one right here on the right-hand side where he just lit it up, then you got one down here, then you got one right here on Taiwan, on not too far from Taipei, and then it's obviously been going down in Tokyo, Japan. If one was to be up here, you almost got a whole diamond, and that's almost precise locations on that specific small little uh, tectonic plate that moves in conjunction with all of the other ones. So um, this is just interesting to be just noticing right now. Is that now if something was to happen in Japan, then that would kind of indicate something like that. That what if this was just like a little puzzle piece to get like pulled out of that socket or something? I don't know. Or yeah, I just think of things like that because this is right close to the Mariana Trench. That is not too far off. And then you've been having onslaught of work down here, and then it just picked up in Taiwan, and with a big one, like not even that they ain't too far off from that. So yeah. Mm. I'm keeping it in mind. Yep. Yep. Exactly. That part. That part. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. See, I knew it. Yeah, I know it. I love seeing this part. Whew, I love seeing this part. Yes. He said it. I didn't say it. It's swinging, it's coming around the corner. Yeah. Mm, mm, mhm. Easily. Order coming right up. All praise. It is eerily quiet. Look, everything is going into alignment, everything's going into its corner pocket, as you can see. That whole little diamond right there, like I said, as long as if these keep trickling down into this one little corner pocket right now, then that's what I'm paying attention to. Because this is connected, but they're not wanting to speak on that. But for that to happen with that super volcano as well. So yeah, there's so much activity going on huge uh all of the huge um volcanoes right now. Iceland, Mount McKinley up in Alaska, Fiji Island, Fuji, is it Fuji, Fiji? One of those. The Himalayas, Hiroshima. So all of these particular places are just getting hammered, definitely. And it's interesting with the sun pictures. I'm gonna go back to it because let's see if that was the case. I was speaking on that being like it was blinking. Like that looked like the sun is blinking and it's turning its face towards us. You know, that's what it that's what it kind of feels like to me. We're coming along and it's just blowing. It's blowing stuff all over the place right now. So that's why I kind of like want you to because I get a chance to like now I can visually see it. And it's always the activity that is always just like kind of thrown off, questionable, to where it's like, I'm just not gonna think about it. That'd be the stuff I'd be paying attention to. I'd be like, something, something. But anyways, nonetheless, what really happened with all of the other ones? So yeah, so I believe this is some other little footage from the Black Hawk. I'll bring that up in a little bit. But yeah, just going off of all of the planetary information that's going on out there, like we still have uh, planets is in the sky, y'all. They still here. And even where I'm looking at right now, the weather is like gloom. It's not even gloomy, but it's like cloudy. I don't know. It's like a weird fog too. So, but that's why we just. It's always good to know what's going on every any and everywhere if you can. You know. Yeah, it's fascinating how far we've come. To be able to. I used to read about a lot of this stuff in encyclopedias and stuff like that, and being a kid, your mind just fascinated. You just go into it's. You know, you're given information, and you just it elevates you. It's like you have been turned into a superhero. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key, and the more you, the more beans, the more you toot. No, I'm just playing, but uh, it's good to learn. Yes. So, like this is everywhere. Like for it to be coming in like that, I ain't gonna. Man, that's crazy. That is apocalyptic. Yeah, there's not gonna be enough preparedness for anything anywhere. Yes, the biblical flood. And what's interesting, let me tie that down because we at least got the uh, caps on. But what's interesting about this is that we just saw the glacier break off. And that wasn't just the first one. That was just the biggest one that they said it was. But there was plenty more that have chipped off and have contributed to the extra amplification of many of these elements working together. And so it is just literally double for your trouble. It's literally double for your trouble. It has become. I start reading I start reading the book and it started turning out to showcasing a lot of these different places with different people and all this stuff. It is fascinating the time we living in, Just pray mercy and grace upon our people that have gone through all of this stuff. And people have been able to thrive, create big old humongous empires, all these humongous buildings. That's biblical flood. That's just flash flooding. No cities, none of these cities, none of the major cities are equipped to deal with any major disasters right now. None of them. Any of the ones that they have right now are bare minimum because they're getting exhausted. You're getting these really strong, impactful jabs, and then you're getting hit with a haymaker. That's what's been going on for definitely the last 5 years. So we have 5 years of a track record to be able to showcase for all of the stuff that's going on right now. And now it's just like starting to hit its, you know, one good stride. It's not even still doing calisthenics. They ain't even started the game yet. Just putting the game tape on right now. For it to be doing that, that's that's what it's doing. Mm-mm-mm. Man, there's a camera everywhere. Am I tripping or not? People are able to get these shots. I know it can't even see out your windshield. Wow. The amount of lightning strikes that's just apocalyptic. It's so eerie. Like, the scenery is whoever's getting these shots. They getting it. Yeah, when that rain come in like that, I definitely have been involved in that. Even the snow. Uh, yeah, we'll leave it at that. We know what's going on out there. So yeah, being washed off the land in all ways right now. So that's any and everywhere. It's literally ain't sunshines and roses right about now in a lot of places. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just interested. Like the volcano thing is so I don't know. Since I watched La Palma, it got me like my head all up into it right now too. So, but I always been thinking about that, fascinated because I remember, I don't know, as a kid, you just get fascinated with certain things, and volcanoes was always something that was like, okay, they never really talked about that one, but and then now we actually see data and can kind of aggregate it from the minds that are out there, and you kind of run your own assessment off of that. You can start seeing where things are trying to play out so prophetically in such a beautiful design that the Most High is just doing his stuff. He's doing his stuff. That's what he's just doing his thing. He's doing his thing. But it's to have that appreciation and gratitude for everything going on right now in our own lives to be able to have had the strength to get through and keep on going on. And we're not perfect, but we make the best that we can. So I don't sit here and boast and gloat about anything that happens that's going on. It's just observing and reporting. It's just. But as we're seeing, this ain't happening to people that don't look like us, for one. And you got to be able to bring it out, let everybody know. So it's the year of the snake. It's the year of the snake. But yeah, let me switch it over to this other one as well. Because I got stuff over here. I still got stuff over here on my phone too. I didn't even touch these. I got you. There we go. And get the buffet. I don't know. Let me see. Climate. Let me see what they say on this. I'm interested. Mm-mm. Nope, not that. They will never say, even when we disagree with things in life, even as a family, even as a people, you know, you got to be able to allow people to talk, chew the meat and spit out the bones. But we know that everything's been just all jacked up and perverted. It's like you got to be able to be discerning of it. You know, when you're in the trenches, when you're in the depths, when you're behind enemy line, when you're in the lion's den, when you're in the room full of vultures, you got to be able to read all the information they try to kick out to you. You can't overlook it. Man, that's what it be putting out. And so sometimes you got to shut it down because, like, right then and there, you'll get away with some stuff. They will get away with some stuff. At least try to. At least try to. All right, but let me switch over here. But it's good to see that. Mm, see, and it's got to be AI speaking like this, and that's why it always got to be like the world we came from is almost like being washed out like no more. So it's like you really gotta listen to it and just dissecting it. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's become such a tool. It backfires though. Then you gotta like see what it's going for itself. See what it's going for itself. Hold on one second. Why isn't that popping up? Okay, there we go. But I did have all these other things. Like I said, I still got my uh, classroom notes. Still got my classroom notes. But it's good to see that this is popping off because this is affecting everything. It's not just one thing. It's affecting everything when you got pipes busted, food industry is affected. You got to really put things in perspective on how all of this is turning out, you know. So it's like right on time. It's like right on time.
Business owners are still feeling the impacts of a huge water main break on Peachtree Road in Buckhead. Atlanta watershed management crews, they worked through the night to replace a pipe that dates back to 1917. 11 Alive's Karis Belgium.
Exactly. How much of this stuff that's around everywhere that's still from the 1900s, literally, and you're shaking you're shaking all around. You're doing a hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. It's it's cracking and busting everything everywhere. They just did my water on my street. So yeah, it's a it's an interesting thing to be seeing. That's in Buckhead.
Is live in Buckhead, where she's been covering this for us all morning. Karis, how are things looking right now? We see the work still happening.
Well, the repairs are done right now. The crews are doing the work of filling in that hole so they can begin to slowly open up the street here. You can take a look and see just how much progress they are making. So they had to bring out some heavy equipment so they could make sure everything is settled. Earlier this morning, I watched them pull out the old pipe and then replace it with a new one before dragging that off. So now they're just trying to fill this in with gravel, because since this work has been happening, they've had to close off multiple lanes going in both directions on this road. And when crews first arrived, the water was gushing more than 10 feet in the air. At one point, the water had to be shut off so the workers could take out the damaged piece of pipe and replace it. And this is a very busy road in Buckhead. You have Piedmont Hospital, there are restaurants, apartment complexes that were all impacted. In fact, one man who lives and works in a nearby building told 11 Alive, even though the repairs are done, people who live there are still using bottled water just to be safe this morning.
Right now we have, two pallets of cases of water that we have for them to use whenever they need it, or if they needed to use it to just drink. I did notice when the water did cut back on this morning that the water was really, really brown. So I just recommend all residents in the area just boil water or just run your faucets for a little bit.
And in terms of traffic, I saw multiple people trying to use the side streets in the area to try and get around those barricades, because they have police cars on both sides of where this work is taking place, just to make sure no one gets hurt. So we are continuing to follow this, but the people impacted should have water. But as we are seeing now, that there are still some things to deal with in terms of the color and the cleanliness while this repair is being finished up.
See, that's the thing. And most people wouldn't pay attention to that. Is that there is so much construction going on right now, more than ever. Um, all the roads are getting worked on, like every inch of the roads. And these things are happening under the roads. I mean, let alone the stuff that is on the surface. And a lot of times they don't even want to deal with the stuff that is on the surface, which is the potholes. You go to any major city, the potholes are a mess. People's breaking their axles and they get, and it's a cycle. It's a whole little ecosystem. They get away. So that's not being all over the place. Because being able to report all this stuff from city to city and state to state, and then having had known what was going on in all these regions, I had been zipping back and forth through America, y'all. Like literally every city and state, literally zipping through every city and state around America. And to actually see majority of this for coming and then have been in these regions where these things have happened, activating ley lines. It's like surreal, you know. I don't know. Not always these exact pictures as far as that I'm showcasing to you, but when I can look on a map and just go back and remember, like, man, I was like 3 miles, 6 miles, 9 miles away from this place, that place, or whatever, like that. It just kind of gives you the gummies, which is good though, because then you know that you're special. You know you're so special. You know you're special. I pulled this up because I wanted to actually I wanted to see what they would say on this. Kind of learn
Hi,
something
my
every
name
day.
is Cole from Academy Hill School. How much snow comes with 1 inch of rain?
Could
Cole,
ask
that's a really good question. All right, so let's go through it. And now you may actually hear Minnesota weather talking about snow and rain. So it all depends on the temperature. And so it's also known as the snow ratio. Let's break it down. So on average, we will see 10 inches of snow per 1 inch of rain. And now it all has to do with the temperature of the atmosphere. If it's going to be a little bit warmer, temperatures hovering in the low 30s, we're going to see heavier and more wet snow. Though as the temperature continues, we're going to see also known as higher snow ratios, where the snow is a lot fluffier and a lot lighter, also drier snow. So whenever you hear us forecasting, that's kind of what we mean. When we say light and fluffy snow, that means the snow ratios have increased. And when we say heavy wet snow, it also means the temperature is going to be warmer and we will have heavier wet snow. Remember that storm that we had just this past week? It was actually dry snow because it was so cold outside that it was just fluffy.
I would ask her to repeat yourself again, and let's see if you could maintain all of that, because you almost sound like the kid who asked you the question in the first damn place. That's why the reading is low down in the whole damn world.
Alaska ranked near the bottom in reading and math test scores nationwide.
And how is that? You ain't got no LA. You ain't got no New York, Manhattan. You ain't got no. You got nothing but wooden books to be reading through the house. No, but they updated up there. I love Alaska. But how are you at the bottom again? I'm just saying, like, you got the blind teaching the blind at the same time. And so where they got all of their instructions is not always these sources. So it's always good to put two and two together and then it's kind of tied around in a bow. But when you see the results, when you see something like, oh, they're struggling here, they're struggling here. This is each state I'm pulling up. They've already gone down every state. Majority of every state right now has tanked right now. That's what it's looking like right now.
That's according to the 2024 National Assessment of Educational Progress Study. Out of a possible 500, Alaskan fourth graders scored 202 points in reading, 226 in math. Eighth graders averaged 246 points in reading and 264 in math. Some say the lack of public education funding and the rising inflation are major factors in those low scores.
It's not a situation where you suddenly look at new ideas and introduce new programs and innovate. You just try to hang on to keep the things functioning there.
Public education funding is on the table in Juneau. Earlier this week, members of the State House Education Committee began discussions on House Bill 69. If passed, the bill would increase per student funding, also known as the base student allocation.
It's like it don't make no sense sometimes. It's just, y'all messed this whole thing up. Y'all messed the whole system up and put it in y'all favor. And now it's Ouroboros. It's literally the snake that's eating itself. Oh, man. The kids don't want to be in them classes. They want to be in the video games. That's what y'all created, for one. It don't cost for them to read and write and do the math. Arithmetic. You guys have done this to yourselves, and now when the results show, and you have to now you're facing them like all is being revealed. That's the interesting part about all of this. Okay, you're seeing where you're at. Okay, boom, shit. We're at the bottom of the damn bottom. We're at the bottom of the bottom now. Yeah, you're starting to wake up from a lot of these delusions. This starts actually affecting, when the kids are looking at their test scores and they're like, damn, I didn't, why did all these other kids over there, they excelled right past me. They got almost 500s. You see what I'm saying? So this starts hitting a new well, I don't want to say generational, but a new generation of, headspace now at that point, mindset. And that leads to a lot of fragility and inferiority, which is what most of 83 is trying to uphold, and they're doubling down on it to uphold. So yeah, we're gonna throw money at this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and it's like you're crapping out your whole mortgage. It's like it's like the drunk guy on fentanyl playing at the craps table, betting away all of his boardwalk right now. That's what you're seeing right now as we go through the portrayal of all of this. Because that's fallen definitely on. That's fallen.
When compared with years past. Catherine Cook is here to break down the trends. And Catherine, sorry for the skepticism here, but I cannot imagine it is all good news here.
And you're right. Right out the gate, David, homelessness is still the biggest issue according to survey. And maybe not surprising, frustration over the cost of living. But there are indications that some areas are improving.
Portland Perspective. The latest poll by the Portland Metro Chamber offers a slice of it. Every December, they team up with DHM Research to conduct a hybrid survey to get a pulse on voters' top priorities. They heard from 700 people, 300 in Portland and 400 from Clackamas, Multnomah, and Washington counties. This past year, 36% of them said the county they live in is on the wrong track. But 3 years ago, 62% felt that way.
36% is not a particularly great number historically, but coming from where we were, to finally start to see some improvements is worth calling out. It's notable.
John Horwick is Senior Vice President at DHM Research.
I can appreciate the fact that this is more and more frequent where you're hearing from just like, oh, I notice it now. Before, remember, it was like, oh, I don't know. I don't notice anything. I don't see anything. Oh, no. It's literally showcasing. Definitely. You know how some teachers just get way too damn close? It's like, yeah. They never had a mixed bag of teachers at the school. It was always in control. It's always about control. You leave it in man's hands. So he ain't in control of nothing. But looking at this, seeing this is the road. Even all the way up to Alaska, all the way down to here. The complete declining and decaying of so many different layers of this onion. When you got to deal with roads, you got to deal with your car hitting a pothole, cracking the tie rod. Insurance is not going to cover it. It's cold outside and you fell down and slipped and hit your hip. Like the kids can't get what they want for any of the, these are so many layers. Bus drivers is driving in. Bus drivers is, where is his eyebrows? He is Casper. He really looked like Casper, though. It's so many layers to this onion, and it's on so much of a consistency now that it's so much to give y'all. It's so much to give y'all. Can't go that. I mean, it's so much out here to give y'all. Yeah, he looked like he trying to tell a spooky story. Ooh.
Research. He noted several extreme lows in recent years. Take homelessness. 35% of those polled said it's the most pressing issue. That's down from 40% in 2023, but it still tops all other concerns.
Right behind that are things like housing affordability, crime and public safety, cost of living.
We spoke with a few people at random, and their opinions seem to reflect the larger sample.
They just need to work on the homeless situation, and everything's getting higher, but not pay wages.
I think one thing that definitely needs to change is the housing prices and just like accessibility to housing as well.
Kay Floyd works downtown. She's noticed big changes here in recent months, especially around the holidays. The survey found overall visitation is up over last year. 2/3 of voters said they visited downtown at least once in the past month. That's up from half of voters in 2023.
I think people in general are feeling a lot safer. We had so many families come down during the holidays. The park was transformed into a snow day village. We had snowfalls, we had fire pits. Yeah, just hope we keep going up.
If this survey is any indication, so do a lot of people.
We still have a way to go, and we can move in a positive direction.
And something else the survey noted, and this goes along with concern over cost of living, voters are hesitant to say yes to additional taxes. Instead, they're more willing to trim certain services before paying more, though the survey did not specify which services or how much in taxes.
The thing is, all of these major cities have all had legislation that trips all over each other's. So it just has never worked in any of these particular situations. It's just like, even in hearing and talking about it, but they see it now. That is the interesting part about all of this, is that, okay, more and more are seeing. More and more are seeing.
4 months have passed since Hurricane Helene changed western North Carolina forever.
And neighbors there are still picking up the pieces. That's why leaders from our part of the state are coming together to share experiences and lessons learned from equally devastating disasters like Hurricane Florence that hit the Cape Fear in 2018.
Wow.
WBCT's Ava Bringord heard from the mayor of Burgaw today, who traveled to the Asheville area. Ava, she is joining the efforts of the American Flood Coalition.
Yeah, that's right, Fran. And Mayor Olivia Dawson tells me her time in western North Carolina is all about collaboration, bringing together her knowledge and experiences with flooding in our area, including Burgaw, to improve rebuilding efforts. Now, Helene caused roughly $60 billion in damages out west, according to the state. To put that into perspective, that's over 3 times as much as Hurricane Florence did nearly 7 years ago now. Dawson says in her experience, focusing on rebuilding infrastructure to withstand the next natural disaster is the key to investing back into the towns and cities that were impacted while saving taxpayer dollars down the line.
To make sure, too, that's a big part of my advocacy is let's make sure that we continue this funding, but that we're making sure that it is impacting our communities and is helping us repair, fix, rebuild.
She's befuddled. There's no clear-cut solution. It is a bunch of, I guess, panic talk but to start seeing it being very apparent and clear in many of these regions that the over and over is catching up.
For the future.
Mayor Dawson plans to meet with state.
Yeah, all of the future. That's where it's going. You're still going to the craps table.
And local lawmakers today and help out in the Asheville area. She says the message she wants to share with neighbors out there is that North Carolina is still standing behind them. April Rengort, WECT News.
It don't look like it. It really don't. It really don't. You said it's been months. You said it's been months. I don't think those folks is
putting the tariff of 25% on Canada and separately 25% on Mexico.
President Donald Trump says he plans to impose those tariffs tomorrow. Tariffs force U.S. companies buying foreign imports to pay a percentage extra to the U.S. Treasury. Many economists say that typically leads to higher prices for consumers.
We raise tariffs, and that's a bit inflationary. Other countries may raise their tariffs. And to the extent we keep importing from them, that's also inflation.
Canada and Mexico are some of the U.S.'s biggest trade partners, so the proposed tariffs could affect prices on all sorts of goods. For instance, experts say the cost of a new car could go up thousands of dollars. But Trump's pick for Commerce secretary argues that won't happen.
It is just a nonsense that tariffs cause inflation.
Economists say tariffs can help domestic producers by pressuring American companies to buy from them. The Trump administration hopes the taxes will reduce trade deficits between the U.S. and its neighbors.
I think it will help our farmers, our ranchers, and our fishermen to flourish.
Trump says he also plans to use tariffs as leverage for stemming the flow of migrants and fentanyl across the southern border.
This brings us to the question, to what extent is this political leverage in those relationships? And to what extent is he actually going to fully follow through with the economic measures?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Ooh.
To explain this next piece of the tariff puzzle.
That's a whole lot going on. Yeah, we knew that we were going to see a bunch of flipping around, and like you're not going to run out of enough stuff to talk about off of that. But keeping our eye on the prize, and being able to just see what's, seeing what's to come. It's always good.
Like a well-oiled NASCAR pit crew, Moore Street Cafe in Scott's Addition whips up omelets and egg dishes with speed.
We run off eggs, pretty much. It is our gasoline.
Yet egg prices are rising faster than cafe owner Charlie Hughes can keep up.
We probably crack 4,000 eggs a week. So when they double and then triple, it is a pretty big impact on the business.
He says 95% of his menu includes eggs, and he's witnessed the rise in prices firsthand. He paid $2.50 for a dozen of eggs last October. That number doubled in December and now sits at $7.50 for a dozen of eggs at wholesale.
Absolutely. It's scary. But I don't know what to do about it because, we have to have them.
Hobie Bowen is president of the Virginia Poultry Federation.
We're coming off of this holiday season where there's extra demand because of the baking that takes place. And so you kind of almost have a perfect storm in terms of really high demand and then disruption to some of the supply because of the avian influenza. And so, the supply and demand sets wholesale prices.
He says Virginia's flocks and farms are faring well despite a deadly strain of avian flu that continues to decimate the country's poultry flocks. He credits the Virginia Poultry Disease Task Force, created after an outbreak in 2002.
They've developed surveillance programs where no poultry flock leaves the farm without being tested for avian influenza. And I think we've been pretty successful over the years, and it shows our attention to this in Virginia.
While prices fluctuate, Hughes is committed to serving his customers the real deal.
And I try to stay away from using like egg beaters or anything like that. I like shell eggs. The restaurant likes shell eggs. The guest wants shell eggs.
In Richmond,
so
it's just interesting that eggs are going to be the fall. They're walking on thin eggshells. That's what I get. That you're walking on thin eggshells. And eggs are going to be the demise of many of these businesses and companies right now. That's what I'm just seeing, that, on a massive scale as well. This has been for the last 5 years. Eggs has been the culprit. And now that it's amping up right now again, it's like, It's going to be many that have just been barely getting by, and it's going to crack the what is that, Humpty Dumpty? Yeah, Humpty Dumpty is yeah. It is Humpty Dumpty. It's just interesting that you're seeing major things that you wouldn't expect to be the thing that would take things out. It's like, okay, gives you a greater sense of what these. It's kind of like the do's and don'ts. Kind of make you see, like, what they priority and the contingency of them being. That was the one thing that could have taken them out. It's like, wow, huh. What is this? Oh, we already spoke on that. Yeah, Trump is definitely trying to mess with his neighbors. Yeah, he's just messing with his neighbors right now at this point. I don't want to go too much into that. I got so many videos up here. Let me make sure I get through them all. Make sure I don't forget any. Matter of fact, I'll just play them all from the top. Let's just go ahead and go from there. And then I have, why isn't that going? There it go. I didn't expect that. That was in Ohio. Dang. And it's interesting because we was watching the other one where it was where they weren't coming to pick the trash up around. And that could have been anything, That could have been anything. But many people's situations is getting all messed up like that. Starting to catch up.
Thousands of federal government agencies are registered but don't even exist. In fact, some agencies listed were only temporary or have been long gone for decades. Joining us this morning to discuss is the Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com.
Shalom below.
Good morning to you, Rachel. Always good to see you. Now, this is important as the DOGE committee looks to cut wasteful government spending, obviously. Just how many federal agencies are there, and what exactly is the status of ones that are now defunct?
Yeah, so we're talking about the Federal Register. That's the official journal of the U.S. government. It's where all the rules and public notices can be found. You can find executive orders. So it lists 441 agencies, but almost 1/5 of them, 75 of them, are effectively defunct or obsolete. So 39 of those agencies were temporary commissions. They were created to study maybe a single issue and produce a report. For example, the Commission on the
39,
Future
12.
of the U.S. Aerospace Industry, 21st Century Workforce Commission. Those were all.
Matter of fact, I'm glad she just brought that up. What happened to the damn SpaceX rocket that just got shot off on, what was that, 2 days ago? Day ago? 2 days ago? Hold on, let me make sure. SpaceX launch. What day was that? What's today? 31st. Was that the name of it? No. 29. Hold on. SpaceX recent launch. Okay. No, that wasn't it. Where's the one that we just had? That was a recent upload date. So, where is that? So they're not showing it. Okay, was this the whole thing? Was this the whole live? I'm gonna just pull it up. I know, my bad, John. That's interesting because now you got all these little agencies and all this money that done got taken out. Did it even go? Oh, there we go. I definitely want to see it. See the be on ABS. Hold on. Let me go back to it. Yeah, they were trying to launch the other day. Hold on. This one shows a day ago. This was the Spain set. I remember it was a Spain set. I remember that name. NG, yeah. So hold on, let me just switch it back over. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna come back to you. I got you.
I guess everyone is excited right now, and the eco-ignition is about to come.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Liftoff. Go SpaceX. Go SpaceX G1. Vehicles pitching downrange.
We did got some awesome views during the liftoff. T plus 20 seconds into the flight, Falcon 9 has cleared the tower. A successful liftoff. Good callouts as well. We did got vehicle pitching downrange callouts. M1 EB chamber pressure being nominal.
First stage heads into space. We're throttling down right now in preparation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's definitely.
Reports avionics.
Right now, as John mentioned, that we are into the throttle bracket, throttling down the 9 Merlin engines, preparing for a period of maximum dynamic stress coming up. And we did got call out for the vehicle being supersonic.
Yeah, literally 83 for you. So they would definitely put on a show for their own. But I just wanted to show that it's like all of what they've done is just waste. You know, it's like, damn, we've gone down just so many stupid things that have gotten us away from what our divine purpose is supposed to be, you know.
Right,
Anyways,
but they're all still listed there. 12 agencies have closed. They've had their duties merged with another agency. For instance, the Oklahoma City National Memorial Trust and the Valles Caldera Trust, those were separate entities. They're now part of the National Park Service, but they're still listed on the Federal Register. So if the federal government were a book, there would really be no usable table of contents for the average American to find what they're seeking.
Isn't that wild? But in order for Doge or anyone else to make
she's shaking her head like she in utter disgust.
a
This is
roadmap
what
for
they do.
cutting wasteful spending, there
Yeah,
needs to be obviously an accurate picture
done
of
so
federal
much wasting.
agencies. So how is your organization, how is Open the Books doing this?
Yeah, so this is shockingly bad record keeping, especially for the official record keeper of the U.S. government.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're not updated. So members of the public, you have to do deep research to find out about the composition of their own government. So, Open the Books is going to periodically release a list of agencies. There are 366 agencies that are receiving federal funds. So we will have studied which ones these are. We're going to chart their growth, their expense, and activity over time to determine if taxpayers are getting their money's worth and if they're even getting anything at all out of these agencies. So we're going to keep tabs on this and hoping Doge will delete these obsolete agencies.
And for those agencies that are now defunct, where's that money going? That's
right.
the bigger
Well, some of them
question.
get funding. A lot of them don't, but some do still get funding. You know, President Biden was still funding his budget request had.
Here it goes. She about to get emotional. She got a big ass nose. But anyways, I'll just leave it at that. You know, I don't want this interrupting my ears and my peace. But no, I just got to show it though. So it got to be shown. But the amount of circus that got people involved, yanking at everybody. What? Oh no, hold on. I don't hear nothing. Okay, what happened to that?
Happening in Germany, where Germany is witnessing a wave of anti-immigration protests. Now, 3 weeks before the snap elections will be held in the country, thousands have taken to the streets against the conservative CDU party that is allied with the far-right AfD party on the question of immigration. Now, several cities in Germany witnessed large-scale protests on Thursday night, including rallies in places such as Munich, Berlin and Dusseldorf. The protesters are demonstrating against conservative leader Friedrich Merz and his CDU party for pushing forward a bill on tighter immigration rules with the help of the far-right AfD. Now, the protests began shortly after the lawmakers passed a motion in the parliament to debate the immigration measures. Now, as we speak, the German parliament is in session and lawmakers are debating a bill that contains the provisions for harsher immigration regulation after approval on Thursday. Now, the debate was delayed by 3 hours as the CDU party was scrambling for support from others, including the incumbent Olaf Scholz. However, at the end, the Conservative Party had to rely on the AfD to further its agenda on the proposed overhaul of immigration policies. Now, in the past...
It's just so much infighting in amongst them. It's just literally all over the place, infighting amongst all of them. Shouldn't be, but that's what they've created. So, yeah. As that's going on, it's good to see the animals bouncing back. Why does this sound always just do that? The sound just do that.
94 AD, wrote these very famous lines describing the aura and majesty of this incredible beast that roams the jungles. And now the aura of the tiger is only increasing. In a remarkable conservation success story, India has doubled its tiger population in a span of a decade, demonstrating that large predators in India can thrive alongside human communities. Now, the world's largest wild tiger population has surged from 1,706 in 2010 to a very impressive 3,682 in the year 2022. Now, remember, India is home to roughly 75% of the global tiger population in the wild. And this extraordinary achievement represents a beacon of hope for wildlife conservation worldwide. Now, according to a study published in the journal Science, says that India's success offers important lessons for the tiger range countries, that conservation efforts benefit both biodiversity and also the nearby communities. Now, the magnificent predators roam about 138,000 square kilometers of the diverse terrain. Now, this area is almost half the size of the United Kingdom, and India's success stems from a comprehensive approach combining strict anti-poaching measures, habitat protection, and innovative community engagement strategies. Now, India's Project Tiger, that was launched in 1972 when tiger numbers had plummeted to less than 2,000, stands as one of the world's most successful and longest-running conservation programs. Now, the initiative's holistic approach has created a very delicate balance between wildlife protection and community development, particularly through eco-tourism revenues that benefit the local populations. These incredible and majestic big cats, capable of reaching speeds of about 65 kilometers per hour and weigh an impressive 300 kilograms, now share their habitat with approximately 60 million people across India. Now, despite the challenges this presents, the successful coexistence has been achieved in several states, including in places like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, and Karnataka, where the tigers thrive in high densities alongside human settlements. The conservation model's success hinges on a dual strategy of land sparing and sharing, proving that both approaches are essential for tiger recovery. While 25% of the tiger habitat remains prey-rich and protected, the remaining areas demonstrate as to how humans and wildlife can coexist through careful management and sustainable practices. And this achievement also offers some vital lessons for other tiger range countries, showing that large carnivore conservation simultaneously benefits biodiversity and also local communities. So as global tiger populations face continued threats from habitat loss and poaching, India's example provides a blueprint for the successful conservation of the tigers in the 21st century. As they say in Hindi, tiger zinda hai.
It's interesting because you're seeing so many, whether they had the helping of a human or not, it's like they're bouncing back and coming back with the roaring, sense of like, hey, we roam these lands. Well, at least they understand, like, hey, we got to live with y'all. We don't want to make enemies of you, and then we obviously don't want to exterminate y'all. Obviously, they said it's like 5,500, almost 6,000, in comparison to like that many million people. So, yeah, that many you can appreciate babies and animals. So. Anyways, yeah, so much American crime going on. I didn't even put that up either. Just trying to see what else is here. The news on this. What's going on?
You say that those in your community are afraid?
Of course, yeah, sure are.
We're told that some in the Hispanic and Latino communities are living in fear as President Trump's mass deportation plan takes shape. Axios reports that in 2021, Arkansas had about 6,000 undocumented people living and working in our state.
I had a conversation with an American citizen who has Hispanic immigrant parents. He agreed to talk with me if we did not show his face. He tells me Parents in his community are taking their kids out of school in Arkansas because of the fear that they'll be deported.
I just dropped off a guy today at 4 a.m. at the airport because he sold everything he had here and he left to Guatemala because he was afraid.
What are they saying?
They don't want to take the kids to school because they're afraid they're going to take their kids, get deported, then deport them. Because he said he wants to deport all the family so they can all be together.
How does that make you feel?
With me personally, I mean, it's bad because, you know, I come from a second generation of immigrants. My parents, they're both legal here, but it's bad.
So people of Hispanic descent who are legal are also afraid of being deported?
Some of them are, and some aren't. For example, me, I'm not afraid because I know he can't take my birthright from me. I was born in America, American citizen. But maybe the future generations, they probably are afraid.
Well, you know, he just signed an executive order
that
he wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. What does that say to you?
Oh, it's gonna affect the whole community of Hispanics, and not just Hispanic. We got Indians, Asians. We have even people from Europe, Africa, all Central America, all South America, the whole world.
What would you say to those people who might say that it needs to happen because people came in illegally and they broke the rules or they broke the line?
It's not easy to cross over here. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. To get a visa, a work permit, everybody would be over here working legally. But it's not an easy process.
Where do you go from here?
Wherever the future takes us.
Okay.
Really can't do anything about it.
There's a protest against President Trump's deportation plans today at 6 p.m. in North Little Rock. It's happening in downtown near the Marine Museum, and we plan to be.
Yeah, plan to be there. Yeah, you gonna go there, be there, because the news station is higher. But yeah, this is the world that is going on right now around the world, here and down the street and all that. So at least you get a good. I mean, you get a good view. I mean, you already obviously know, but you know, you still get a chance to get the first, you know, bird's eye view on things as they're going on out in there. You know, do we, you know, is it, you know, priority in our life to be paying attention to all of this? No, I don't know. Not on my mind. It's not bothering me. But to be able to add, I guess, the evidence to the talk, because before it used to be the talk towards us. That was those narratives like all black people are lazy, you know, they don't like to work or anything like that. And I'm just like, dude, look at my work performance. Look at my pictures. You're using my pictures to solicit to other customers or other clients. So do I get that commission or are you taking my bonus? Oh well, your bonus is going into my pocket just because it feels nice and comfort and cozy, and it just looks, don't it look good in my pocket? You know, it's like, no. Our brothers and sisters bust our ass, and we've always done it. So it's always having to go against that narrative for the last 400 plus years. That's what it was for quite some time. It's like, hey, boss, look at this work I did. Oh, we don't give a damn about your work. You know what? It sucked. It's like, oh, well, I didn't, huh? You just got $1 million bonus off of it. We don't, you still suck. Like, you know, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So to be able to see all of this, being able to flip around. Like I said, you're seeing massive strikes on everything. Everything in this whole cogwheel is being exposed and revealed. All of church and state. All of church and state. So it's just massive headaches for these folks everywhere. It's just, man.
New here at 6, a Memphis couple reached out to Action News 5 after weeks of trouble with a leak that consumed their entire front yard. Well, Action News 5's Imani Williams went to work in East Memphis to check this out, and she got some answers.
After weeks of water filling up in this front yard and draining right here, a Memphis.
And it's every single news station everywhere. It is brothers and sisters. They hired.
This couple has questions and are.
And they're all young. And these young folks will have these positions for, a good 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Like they're going to be there. Yeah.
Frustrated. A sound that may be familiar to most on a rainy day like Thursday. But it's a sound.
Like her voice is going to, like she just said right now, her voice is going to be familiar. Like she's going to be familiar. All of these young brothers and sisters are going to be familiar in being able to observe and report. Yeah. Slowly but surely, they're seeing it as well. Their hands, they're up front on it. So they may not have like the fully understanding or the education of the studies, isn't stepping all the way in the truth, but it's like it's like one tool in the tool belt that it's like one part of the cog. It's always a process. It's like, okay, you got the screwdriver. They got the screwdriver. They on the TV. Now they just need they need the nut to be able to screw into. Now you need the wood. Then the wood, you need so it's levels to it. It's just good to see that this was not occurring in the 1990s as a kid when I was growing up. So
Sound that a Memphis couple says they have heard over 4 weeks.
Maybe leaking from our neighbor next door under his fence. It looks like it, but it could also be leaking. There's a small hill behind us with a couple of houses up there.
A leak near their home has caused gallons of water to freeze.
When it was ice cold, this all froze over and it looked like an ice rink.
And build up in the Isingers' front yard. After several calls to Memphis Gas and Water and city agencies, they felt like they were getting no help.
Well, we're feeling helpless at this point because it's not just a puddle. You can't tell from looking at it here, but it's running across the.
It's literally been every man for themselves with them. He looked like a hawk, but all it takes is one slip. All it takes is one slip into any of that, and you're jacked up. Being sick or hurt or incapacitated or just battling something. It's always it always humbles you. That should be always just a humbling thing when something physically happens to you or physically, spiritually attacked in that capacity. So. Just seeing these things now.
The sidewalk and down into the street.
While I was talking to the couple, an MLGW crew came to check out the issue. Isinger said the crew found that 4 gallons of water was spilling out every minute due to a leak coming from a neighbor's home.
It's frustrating and it's worrisome because who knows what it's doing to the foundation of our house.
That part.
MLGW said they have contacted the homeowner and are working on getting the leak fixed. Reporting in East Memphis.
And that's Memphis, and that's every location. Do you love thy neighbor when the devil's next door? Do you love thy neighbor when the devil's next door? Because he's already frustrated and pissed off. Yeah, it's already pushed him to the brink.
New this morning, a bipartisan group of legislators has introduced a bill at the Roundhouse that would allow New Mexicans to take psychedelic mushrooms as treatment for certain medical conditions. Back in September, we told you about a study conducted by the Department of Health and UNM researchers considering the possible benefits of using psychedelic mushrooms to treat mental health issues. Last legislative session, lawmakers approved researchers to look into the medical use of the drug. This year's bill would create a program that opens the doors for treatment.
For psilocybin, it's for depression, major depression, and treatment-resistant depression. That's being fairly vigorously studied around the country.
Unlike cannabis, experts say psilocybin would not be for daily use, but rather used with medical supervision, possibly twice.
Did she say psilocybin? I don't know what she
A
said. I
year.
think she said it
If
wrong.
approved, the program would be available in 2028.
2028. They trying to bank.
This morning, an investigation was.
It's just interesting because like these are hints when they try to get into, industries that they would have never thought about or talk about this stuff. Yeah, y'all gotta excuse me. I am fasting. So I've been drinking a lot of water so far. Staying with the Holy Covenant. Still don't change. I gotta do better. We all gotta do better. So, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot because you're seeing them pull these into governmental and federal and things like that. It's like they've gone into this. Oh, we're open to all suggestions. Whatever's going to happen. Because shit is falling all apart around us. We don't know what to do. So the amount of openness has gotten to these people to where it's going to be so open to where you want me to be your slave? Oh yes. You see that part? It's like I smell cookies. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's how I feel. So I just like to point things out from a distance. Just from a distance. Just a little bit.
Disgusting allegations, including sexual crimes against children.
Yeah, 4 people now arrested in this large child exploitation case. Going to show you some of their photos here. These are the people that are now facing charges as investigators announced the arrest on Thursday. The claims include child and animal sex abuse. Some of the details are just too horrible for us to talk about here on TV. There are more than 60 charges in all, including child exploitation.
Like, that's crazy. That's like something looked like demonically jumped in each one of them. You can always see stuff like this right off top.
And possession of child pornography, things like sexual misconduct with a minor. If you want to learn more about these 4, what they're accused of doing, read about the suspects and the accusations. We have a website story.
It's interesting because these are the people that I'm seeing on the news, as we're all seeing. It's like you can't run from it, you can't hide from it. It's obviously there, and it must be seen, so it must be digested and processed to where it is accepted that this is what it is. This is what it is. But anyways, yeah, just horrible. Just horrible. You're getting it. You're getting your cold potatoes. You ain't even started. You just got in the line. You just got the plate. You ain't even get the fork yet. You ain't got the napkin. You ain't got none of that. You ain't getting none of it. I don't know what you're gonna get. My call I'm just giving off a hypothetical description. It was my own presentation and imaginations. But man, what is going on that side of the fence where this hee-haw shit is just, I have no clue what's going on in the back of Barnyard Bill. But hey, judgment.
State lawmakers are hard at work trying to tackle abandoned boats littering South Carolina waterways, but so are law enforcement, local businesses, and also nonprofits. 11 News 13's Zayna Lawrence saw the issue firsthand in Georgetown.
We told you before about sunken sailboats and Merle's Inlet and the issue.
What is going on? Hold on. start it over. Gotta.
It's caused. But what about the ones in Little River, on the Intracoastal Waterway, and especially in Georgetown?
Just think when it was new, someone paid more than $100,000.
Trying to remove a 9,000-pound sailboat is not as easy as you may think. CEO of Wounded Nature Rudy Sosha says it's a constant issue he sees.
They take in water above the floorboards, then they abandon it, go look for another free boat to live on.
I spent about an hour
on
on the water at Georgetown with Sosha, and in that time we found not one or two, but 19 derelict vessels. Sosha regularly makes this trip to make sure no one is on board.
Anybody home? Anybody home?
He says up to.
This is acting dummy. Hold on. All right, buddy. Okay. But no, anyways, while this gets together, I'm gonna play it back for y'all. For some reason, it just wanted to get stupid. I'm gonna close some of these other ones.
State lawmakers are.
There we go. But it's interesting to see this because those are boats. Those are whatever yachts or particular vessels that were out on the waterways. But in seeing all of this pile up, that goes to show that even on the water, there's nowhere to go. And it's interesting because what reminds me of this is just the sirens, the undines that whisper in the man's ear in the middle of the blackest cover of the sea at night and whispers to him to jump into the water. And I always wonder about these things because it's just for they to be abandoned, a whole flock of them. All right, yeah, let me go ahead and delete some of these other videos. But just a whole flock, that is new to me. Because I know when I was jet skiing in Florida, there was a couple boats. Well, I don't even know if it was just. I want to say this was before Jacob's Trouble. Yeah, this was like, but it was like not as bad. But I was able to see these things, so it was like, okay. But to see that many like that, because okay, I can see, all right, Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton. Okay, I could see how many of that. But you gotta understand, many of these people went back to trying to live in the water or on the water and stuff like that. And that's a different type of living out there if you've never lived on the water like that. So to see the amount of boats missing, not missing, but the amount of people not on them or them being damaged like that and people crashing into things, there's an overtaking of spiritual energy over folks right now, especially during the nighttime. It's like this is a straight thief in the night. This is straight thief in the night grabbing these folks. For them to be hopping and jumping off of boats like that, yeah, that is interesting. All right. I was just trying to close some of these while I was talking. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for your patience. I appreciate y'all being here. We try to catch some of the things that we see out here. Because you might go out on a dinner date or something, be like, why this 2-egg omelet is $27? You got a 2-egg omelet You got 2 eggs and you got a cereal bowl size of vegetables. Okay, let me close these out. All right, there we go.
Hard at work trying to tackle abandoned boats littering South Carolina waterways, but so are law enforcement, local businesses, and also nonprofits. New at 11, News 13's Adriana Lawrence saw the
You just got all ages working up at the news stations right now.
issue firsthand in Georgetown.
We told you before about sunken sailboats at Murrells Inlet and the issue it's caused. But what about the ones in Little River, on Intracoastal Waterway, and especially in Georgetown?
Just think, when it was new, someone paid more than $100,000.
Trying to remove a 9,000-pound sailboat is not as easy as you may think. CEO of Wounded Nature, Rudy Sosha, says it's a constant issue he sees.
They take in water above the floorboards, then they abandon it and go look for another free boat to live on.
I spent about an hour on the water in Georgetown with Sosha, and in that time we found not one or two, but 19 derelict vessels. Sosha regularly makes this trip to make sure no one is on board.
Anybody home? Anybody home?
He says it's up to DNR as well as the nonprofits like his and local businesses to donate equipment and manpower. He says DNR first tries to alert the owner, gives them 45 days, and if they don't hear back, they work to float the vessel, remove it, and scrap it. But Sosha says more legislation and funding.
Yeah. That is some, look at that, that's some tiny living. Is that underwear hanging up? No, that's some big underwear. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know, but yeah, that living on a water life. It's a whole different type of living, y'all. At least you get to see inside of it.
Could go a long way.
The real problem isn't to mark the boats or to put a light on it. It's to actually remove the boats, remove the hazard from the waterways.
Right now in South Carolina, boaters are not required to have liability insurance, but some bills like Senate Bill 26 aim to change that. Others like Senate Bill 167 want to collect a $3 fee on top of your boat taxes to help fund the removal of derelict vessels. Sosha says until then, if you run into one of these neglected boats, it's on you.
It then becomes incumbent on the state and the public to clean up your mess if you don't have insurance and your boat sinks or your boat damages other people's property.
Sosha says.
So everything that they used to have fun with, everything they used to have fun with is becoming a liability now. It used to be an asset. Now it's a liability. It used to be an asset. Used to be something of enjoyability and all of that. It's a liability. Now they're cutting whatever they think, everything is a liability to them now. You can see the actual switch. It's like they don't look at us, and then they look at everything that they have is like bad or disgusting, get rid of it, they burn through it, they use it all up. It's just like just a complete switch. It is a complete switch. Yeah. Bathing on the side of the boat, dipping in the water. Yeah, ain't no bathing going on in that. There's a lot of smells in there.
Even with the resources they do have right now, the collaboration between DNR, nonprofits, and local businesses is effective teamwork. He hopes more laws are put in place to help with future removals.
See, and it's crazy because that law is going to affect them. Like more so, it's going to affect them now because now they got to deal with the cleanup and the tax and the fees and all of this, and it affect your credit and it being a state, credit, you never know how these things may turn out, but you can see that these people are going to be affected in a very, you can see the way that they're getting affected. And what you're seeing is the run, nigga, run. That's what you're seeing right now. Whether it's from the boats, did they jumping in the water or something? Where they go? Where they go? I'm telling you, I really feel like there's some people getting whispered to, and they jumping right in the water. There's Undine just, oh yeah, come here, baby. But just the whole Bonnie and Clyde on the run, because you see so many situations where the accidents are happening, people are running from the cops, people are in standoffs, they pry, stuff like that. They are, fighting with the cops and trying to die by suicide by a cop, robbing banks, fraud, and all type of stuff. Like I'm showing you with the whole. It's like you're seeing like each screenshot to a movie right now that's playing that we're watching right now. We're seeing an amazing movie be played out right now. I would think so. That's just where it's. This is better than any movie they putting out right now, and it ain't been that many movies put out right now. The only movies they keep running back to is them damn superheroes, and them superheroes is looking beat up and weak in the damn movies themselves. The new Superman, he getting his ass beat. Got to whistle for his dog to come and help him now. Help! Help! But yeah. There's a lot going on. Why? Hey, good no. Okay, I ain't getting no sound. But you were seeing the breaking down of everything. Wow. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot of screenshots to all of this that, it's not nothing to just be sitting there. Is that on? Okay, that is on.
Saved them from a fire at their house, but other couple says they're safe after their family dog saved them from a fire at their house, but other pets didn't make it. Well, their home is located on Crawford Street in Laurinburg. News 13's Jackie Labrizzi visited the site today and spoke to the family.
The home the Williams family has known for the past 30 years is now covered in ash.
A lot of Christmases were, held here, and a lot of birthday parties.
Homeowner Tanya Williams says the home held many memories and was where she raised her 3 boys. She says some of her dearest belongings are now gone.
Friday, the 17th of January, I have been home recovering from knee surgery, and that morning, Nene was on our bed, and she started whimpering, which was a different sound than she usually makes.
Williams says if it wasn't for their 5-year-old dog, Nene, she wouldn't have woken up to check on the house.
When I got down to the foyer, I smelled something burning slightly, and I stepped into the den, and I could see straight through the den, the kitchen nook, and the kitchen to our mudroom, and I saw fire through the window of the door.
Williams says she thinks the cause of the fire was from a heater left on in their garage, and Laurinburg Fire Department confirmed this. She says she and her husband went out the front door with their dog, but their 3 cats died in the fire.
Everyone's been so generous. Neighbors, I work for hospice, my hospice family, strangers, churches.
Williams says if possible, they're wanting to rebuild their home. You can donate to their GoFundMe.
And so every time they showcase them, it is an interview, it is a solicitation, it's a begging pan, It's a GoFundMe. It's a Kickstarter. It's all of those things encompassing into gimme, 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 gimme. Anytime you see us on there, we're reporting about this stuff because we're showing how these things are taking place all everywhere. And you're spinning it. You're holding and cuffing and cultivating. Sometimes you got to chisel at some of the things that get placed. Obviously, this is a real reality. Everything's gone, you know. But just seeing from the technical analysis panning out, you know, and being able to zoom in and see something from a different angle. The begging for the last 5 years has been out of this world. So, yeah.
And a woman who believed she was God when she shot and killed her friend's husband will not go to prison.
Alicia Haupt was sentenced in the death of 35-year-old Jacob Harville. The Johnson County judge ruled she was not responsible by reason of insanity at the time of the crime. Back on February the 5th, 2024, court records show Alicia told police she was God and that she shot Harville because he was Satan.
Where do we find out that this is some crazy bag of jello?
In a society, excuse crazy. I mean, there's crazy people all over the world. That gives them the right to kill people. Does it? And don't get nothing out of it?
That from the victim's father. The woman will sit in the Johnson County Jail until her hearing to discuss her commitment to a state mental facility.
I show these because even when you gotta understand, like, the world has gotten so much more sensitive now. To him even saying what he's saying, the virility of things getting out there viral, you know, people's heartstrings, you know, people's little gavels, you know, their own little courts of judgment that they have amongst, we all have that amongst each other. As I'm doing here, I'm sitting here talking about it too. But to have those little gavels, they start getting louder and louder. But for them, it's too bad because those calls are not being heard. Those prayers are not being answered. Those judgments are not being executed. They're, matter of fact, for some reason, it was pointed back at you. And it's like you pulled the trigger and it's boom, wow. You was pointed at the enemy. That's your so-called enemy, but looking in the mirror at the end of the gun, it was, you pointed at yourself. It's like, what? How did that happen? It happened. It happened. But I show that because she's not gonna be able to get away with that. They're not allowing that to go on too long. Because it's just
Crews have recovered 2 black boxes from the American Airlines plane that collided midair with an Army helicopter in Washington, D.C. The National Transportation Safety Board says the boxes will help reveal data from the cockpit, tracking the plane's altitude and airspeed in the flight's final moments. Investigators say it will also reveal crews' discussions leading up to the crash.
Yep.
A Tennessee mother accused of killing her daughter is set to begin on Monday.
Aaron Velasquez is joining us from the newsroom. And Aaron, you spoke to an attorney to explain some of the changes and the setbacks in this case.
That's right, Brittany. It's been a long road to get to trial, but let's take it back to the beginning to talk about how this all started. I want to warn viewers at home, details in this case may be disturbing. In December of 2019, 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell went missing in Sullivan County. However, she was not reported missing until February of 2020. The state issued an Amber Alert, and the ensuing investigation concluded when Evelyn was found on the Boswell family property. According to an agent with the TBI, Evelyn Boswell's body was found inside a trash bag that was stuffed inside a trash can. Her mother, Megan Boswell, was charged with felony murder, but has since also seen an additional charge of premeditated first-degree murder.
It's just interesting to hear these things because, I would see single mothers, single black mothers be able to handle everything they handle. They're some of the strongest people I know. Black women and kids and doing it all on their own and championing it all and ain't complaining not a damn. You know, you really got to tip your hat off to the amount of everything they got to deal with. That's just from any parent, but because there's brothers out here who are doing the damn thing as well. But to get to a point where you're just going all out like that, and to see the level of fragility on this side being exposed now, like you're actually seeing it through the actions that are being taken place. It's like, wow, you know that was a parent that was like giving up, or did not have the proper, education, and people act out what they do. And so because of that, you end up in this position. But when you see the frequency of this going on right now, it's like, oh, wow, this is where your guys' parenting leads to on a consistent basis. Like it has to be put down in data analysis, on all of these. If and what advantage this is better as a football, better as a basketball team, or a successful business or failing business. Like you always look at all of the information ahead of you so you can be able to look at it. And from what I see is that most of the anger and stuff is now being taken out on the kids. It's like everything that has been reverted. I wouldn't say, a lot of black parents then definitely embodied and had to bottle up what they had to deal with and just kept it chugging. They're out right now in a very salacious and diabolical way of, that adrenaline rush, that kick off, whether it's with sex or, punishment where you're beating somebody or bullying somebody or torturing somebody. And it's like to be seeing these things happening on so many occasions with the parenting going on right now. Because you've got parents who are leaving their kid in a car, or leaving them at home, and going off to doing spring break. It's not gonna fall short of what's about to happen right now again. They may have left it in the hands of somebody who they thought was gonna watch their kid. Kid went off on the babysitter, and babysitter left, was like, I'm not gonna put up with this. And the kid left there by themselves. Something happened. Mama down there in spring break twerking, But you're running into so many people that are in this position right now who are completely running. It's just that run, nigga, run situation right now where they're like, oh, I don't even want to have a kid now. You see what I'm saying? Like the numbers is already jacked up, but now you're like being mentally, emotionally, psychologically chased away from even trying to participate into it now. To where it becomes like where they're like looking at it like, oh, you're looking at these people as you're looking at your own selves now as Satan. You used to think you was God and had the superiority. Now you're looking at it about Satan and then bodily harm.
The prosecution has got to prove in this particular case where it's a premeditated murder that there was a set of circumstances such that the mother made a conscious decision to terminate the life of this child.
The road to the trial has also been rocky. Megan had a change of attorney. The defense also shared concerns about the challenge to find an impartial jury in Sullivan County. Coming up in our next half hour, I'll dive deeper in.
Yeah, that is what's going on.
This morning, divers will begin the grim task of recovering the wreckage from the American Airlines.
They already did all that. Make sure. Just running through these.
This morning, there is a new layer in the investigation into the death of an unhoused man in Atlanta. He was in a tent when city workers used a bulldozer to clear the encampment.
The medical examiner confirming Cornelius Taylor's cause of death was blunt force injuries of the abdomen and pelvis. So this contradicts a report from the Atlanta Police Department that said officers on scene observed a bloody nose, but no obvious signs of physical injury, suspecting a drug overdose. The Taylor family says they want the city of Atlanta to take responsibility for this tragedy.
Because that's what it is. They're just trying to say he's a drug addict and he doesn't matter. But he did matter, and that's where they messed up, because he has a family, he has a support system, and he has the city of Atlanta standing behind him as well.
The Atlanta Police Department says it is still investigating Taylor's death. His family says his funeral will be Monday at Ebenezer Baptist Church, followed by a silent.
It's interesting because I remember seeing this in one of the encampments a while back. So it's dangerous out there.
This morning, there is a homicide investigation stretching from central Georgia to Atlanta after an Uber driver vanished on the job. Sammy Jackson was a beloved husband, brother, and father, a friend to many. He was also a former head basketball coach at Fort Valley State in Peach County. Jackson vanished Sunday, last seen on surveillance cameras at a Dollar General in Warner Robins. Later, his wife says she received a strange text message from his number asking for his social security number.
Like, why do you need your social security number? You should know your social security number. So that really was a red flag. So then I immediately tried to call. And at that point, it started going straight to voicemail.
Jackson's wife reported him missing Monday morning. Hours later, his BMW was found in Warner Robins. Then police tracked down information that led them to Atlanta, where his body was found Wednesday. He was in a wooded area off of Donald Lee Hollow Parkway. Jackson had been shot several times. We did reach out to Uber to.
It's interesting. I just bring this up because I used to be a driver, and I've definitely been in those situations where, the Most High does protect you. And I'm just like so thankful. I've driven over 7,700 Uber rides. I was getting it in. But it's in many times that it's been dangerous. Like, I was definitely protected. That's how you know when you just have a blessing over your life. And when it's your time, it's your time, It's what you have made of your life, And I think that's why I get so much back more into my studies and the Bible and all of the other books that we need to be studying and, putting into practice even now, fasting today. Energy is a little different because I am fasting right now, but, it is such a beautiful time to be able to receive and appreciate how far you've come and things like that, because I would see people out here, even a couple of Uber drivers I've taken out here, I was one lady's first Uber ever, and white lady, so obviously people are having to revert to other forms of income because those career jobs are not as what they was before. So having to do, gigs like that now is very prevalent right now. And so to have come a long way with doing that, knowing that people attack people and doing all this crazy stuff in these drives, it comes a long way, in knowing that even when you think that something's going on or something's going to happen or something's going wrong, it's like that goes away because you're instantly protected in that moment. Like your angels are truly guiding and guarding over you. And like I said, that lady was like, "Oh, I was frightened. I don't know. I didn't know what to do or anything like that." And it's like I was never frightened or scared like that. Even when the stuff happened, it's like I wasn't, but to see it in them, you know, on so many aspects from working, being out and utilizing a lot of the time that I spend around a lot of 83, um, just learning and studying. And I picked up on a lot of this stuff to where it's like they have truly started acting out much more now than it ever was before. It was always there. It was teetering, y'all. It was teetering. That's why I was like, once 2020 got here, I was like, oh, snap, bingo, you know? Because it was just like once my mom passed, it was like, I got to keep believing. Like, I cannot just give up and crash and fall apart and all this stuff. And I kept on going. As many times as I've been thrown away and unwanted and kicked down and rejected and all this stuff, and just keep holding on. When you keep holding on, it's like all is revealed, and then that's what I saw. That I saw how many like people started going to, Uber driving or other side hustles and stuff like that. And they were telling me that they would tell me everything, that like this is not how it is. It's completely different in their lives, you know. This just happened to be an example. I'm just bringing up the Uber example. And I don't like trying to bring up no doom and gloom so much, all the time. But it's like this is what is out here, and it's like it's not something I'm just putting together just as just be sitting here playing around. Information is flowing as it is in the time that we are. That to catch it and to be able to put it out as we're putting it out right now is amazing, because these are the teaching moments moving forward on how people are conducting themselves and how they will be conducting themselves, whether they be working for us or whether they be serving us or yeah. So now it's like those veils, those. It's interesting because I'm watching a show like Special Forces and I'm seeing like that. And I watch a lot of different shows, but not even necessarily like just dumb shows. It's shows that I could take something from. But to seeing the survival aspect get called into testing and questioning and physical willpower and mental willpower, and it's just very fascinating to see like how the last 5 years have changed into what they are, to be seeing a whole row of people riding down the street in the moped carts. I'd never seen that before. It was a whole row. So yeah.
An Eaton Rapids man has been convicted of unlawfully imprisoning 3 young teenage girls. A jury found James Nelson guilty of accosting the girls in August of 2023. Prosecutors say he stopped the girls as they were walking along Wilcox Road in Brookfield Township. He showed them a gun, ordered them to the ground, and then fired his weapon into the air. Nelson is due back in court to learn his sentence on March 9th.
On March 9th. I just happened to catch that. Yep. That loop.
So new for you at noon, this North Carolina man is facing charges related to a drive-by shooting here in Horry County. Records show Delton Duncan was arrested Thursday for an incident.
And man, they used to be saying that we was the ones doing that. Now that they, like I showed yesterday, we are the hottest export. We're the hottest commodity. And that's what's doing, like the replication of the degradation of our folks is being assimilated amongst others. That's the tattoo branding on them now. This is what they want to do. This is what they like doing. Like I said, they on the run now. All this stuff, there's so much stuff people just, yeah.
Back in September, documents say officers responded to Green Pine Drive in Little River. Warrants allege Duncan fired a gun multiple times into a victim's home and vehicles. Warrants also say Duncan confessed to the shooting shortly after to someone who later told officers. Duncan is out on a $1,000 bond.
See, they keep doing these bond situations because they don't want to. Like the longer they're in there, it's a they just you gotta understand they had this set up against us, and so they're trying to have it work in their favor as best as they can, but it's starting to catch up.
Jail tonight after a drug raid in Bethel. Multiple agencies, including Vermont State Police and the Vermont Drug Task Force, executed a search warrant on Gage Road after an investigation into cocaine and fentanyl trafficking in Chittenden, Washington, and Windsor counties. Authorities say at the residence they found over 1 kilogram of cocaine and
Bethel, Richard, Moses. There's Moses. There's Moses. We got him up. We got Matthew right there. We got Anthony. Wow. Some pretty hard years. Yeah, I know.
fentanyl, a privately made firearm or a ghost gun, 2 sawed-off shotguns, multiple long guns, a grenade launcher, and 3 pistols with extended magazines. They also saw a number of animals living in unsanitary conditions that had to be taken to the animal hospital. The 9 people arrested now facing multiple charges, including drug trafficking, conspiracy, and possession of a firearm while committing a felony. All are being held at Southern State Correctional Facility.
So it's starting to catch up to a lot of people. It's like nobody want to be decent. It's like nobody want to be decent. I don't even know. You don't even know anymore. Like, yeah. Yeah, let me break that down. I don't know, 8 qualities of a truly decent man or woman, I guess. Let's see, because it's a lot of people. A lot of people. Number 1, emotional intelligence. The term emotional intelligence has been buzzing around the psychology world for some time now. It's no surprise it's essential for a man to be able to understand, manage, and express his emotions in a healthy way. A truly decent man, woman doesn't shy away from feelings, his own or others. He is comfortable with emotional expression and is able to empathize with those around him. This trait allows him to form stronger relationships and navigate social situations with grace. Emotional intelligence not only allows you to be in tune with your emotions, but also lets you acknowledge and respect the emotional experiences of others. It involves listening, understanding, and responding appropriately. This quality not only makes a man more likable, but also contributes to his effectiveness in team settings, be it in business or personal life. That next time you come across a man who isn't afraid of discussing feelings or showing empathy, know that you're in the presence of a truly decent individual. Integrity is one of those qualities that's easy to talk about, but not so easy to maintain consistently. It means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. In my own life, I've seen this quality shine through in my friend. He runs a small tech startup and frequently finds himself in situations where cutting corners will be much easier and potentially more profitable in the short term. Yet he never compromises on his principles. I remember a particular instance when a client had overpaid for a service due to an error on their part. The client had not realized the mistake, and keeping the money would have eased some of David's financial pressures, but without batting an eye, David informed the client about the error and returned the excess amount. This showed me that he had values honesty over quick monetary gain. A true decent man like David understands that integrity isn't situational, but a way of life. And that's why it's one of the significant qualities to look out for. Humility. Humility is a virtue that is often overlooked, yet it is the defining quality of a truly decent man. A humble man knows his worth but doesn't feel the need to constantly prove it to others. Historically, humility is considered a weakness or a sign of low self esteem. However, recent research has flipped this perception on its head. Studies have found that humble people are more likely to be high performers and effective leaders. They are also more likely to receive help from others. Humble people like Abraham Lincoln and Mahatma Gandhi may have often made the most significant impacts in history. They are able to rally people around their cause not through arrogance, but through their humility and conviction. Yeah, you don't know those people. Number 4, dependability. Dependability is like a rock that stands steady amidst the turbulent sea. A truly decent man embodies his quality. He's somebody you can rely on, someone who can follow through on his commitments no matter what, whether it's in the workplace or in personal relationships. Dependability is a highly valued trait. It signals to others that you're trustworthy and that your word holds weight. Imagine having a colleague who always delivers his projects on time, or a friend who you can count on to be there for you when you need them. It's these dependable individuals who earn your respect and trust over time. When you find a man who sticks to his word and honors his commitments, know that he's demonstrating one of the key qualities of being truly decent. And compassion, number 5. Compassion is a quality that softens hearts and bridges gaps between individuals. It's the ability to feel another's pain and the desire to alleviate it. A truly decent man has an abundance of this trait. He's not just kind to his loved ones, but extends his compassion to everyone around him. He's considerate of other people's feelings, takes time to help those in need, and treats everyone with respect and kindness. Compassion isn't shown through grand gestures. It hides in the small, everyday acts of kindness that makes a significant person in people's lives. It means understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles and offering a helping hand when you can. When you see a man going out of his way to help others, treating people with kindness and respect, know that these are the echoes of a compassionate heart, the hallmark of a truly decent man. Number 6, resilience. Life is a constant ebb and flow of ups and downs, and dealing with these fluctuations requires resilience. A truly decent man exhibits this trait by weathering life's challenges with grace. I've encountered my share of storms, and each one has tested my resilience in its own way. One of the most significant was when my business went through a difficult phase. It was a time of uncertainty and stress, with sleepless nights spent trying to figure out the next best step. But amidst the chaos, I've learned the value of resilience. I learned that it's not never falling that makes you resilient. It's getting back up each time you fall. It's facing adversity head on and coming out stronger on the other side. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is knowing oneself, understanding your strengths, acknowledging your weaknesses, and recognizing your impact on others. A truly decent man possesses a high level of self-awareness. He understands his actions and emotions, knows his values and principles, and is aware of how his behavior affects those around him. This self-knowledge allows him to make informed decisions, take responsibility for his actions, and strive for personal growth. Moreover, a man with high self-awareness is not afraid to admit his mistakes and learn from them. He doesn't put the blame on others, but instead uses these instances as opportunities for self-improvement. Number 8 is respectful. The most pivotal quality of a truly decent man is respect. He understands and values the worth of every individual and treats them with dignity and courtesy, regardless of their status or differences. Respect is not confined to just words. It is reflected in actions, in the way he listens without interrupting, in the way he honors boundaries, and in the way he appreciates others' perspectives, even when they don't align with his own. A respectful man does not belittle others to feel superior. Instead, he uplifts them, recognizing that everyone has something unique to offer. Final thoughts. If there's one thing I've learned, is that decency isn't something you claim, it's something you live. It's in the quiet moments, the everyday decisions, the way you show up for people, even when there's nothing in it for you. I used to think that goodness was expressed through a big, sweeping acts of heroism, the grand displays. But the older I get, the more I see it's in the small things, keeping your word, admitting when you're wrong, showing kindness when no one's keeping score. A truly decent man doesn't seek recognition for his character. He just is. And that's the kind of person who leaves a lasting impact. So as you move through life, ask yourself, what kind of presence do I bring into a room? How do I treat people when no one's watching? Because in the end, that's what truly defines you. Yeah. See, I appreciate seeing these things when they come across, because then it gives me my own humility, where my shortcomings as a man, or you as a woman out there, this is how we live and grow. And I feel like there's always something that you can always have to be able to take into context. And I read it just to give myself another, it's like a checkpoint, it's a checkpoint. But I know that even me, rising to the occasion, being better, just being able to do better. So I love that fact. But it's a good little checkpoint right there in life. Good little checkpoint. Makes you reflect on yourself. And I do a lot in the time that I have for myself. So yes. Let me make sure I didn't skip out on that. No, I missed out on these over here. What happened? Oh, yeah. I thought about that one.
At 6:37 and new this morning, a man is accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of books from the Wethersfield Public Library and is now charged with doing the same thing in West Hartford, Connecticut. 50-year-old Levi Preston of Middletown is accused of stealing $16,000 worth of books from the West Hartford Public Library. Police say he was then reselling those books online. They say he also stole books from Middletown and Portland.
He said he stole a total of $27,000 worth of library books. So ain't no telling. It's interesting. It's like, you go get the knowledge and, you still get in trouble. It's like, you ain't got to take it. He would have been able to open up his own library.
Pleads guilty to selling drugs out of his business in Humboldt, Tennessee. On Wednesday, Joseph Moss pleaded guilty in Gibson County Court. According to the West Tennessee Drug Task Force, he's the owner of Humboldt Fitness LLC, which is located in the old Walmart building on North Central Avenue. In July of 2023, officers searched the commercial property and found drugs, firearms, and thousands of dollars in cash, they say, as well as documentation of illegal narcotic distribution. He faces 6 years of probation and must forfeit thousands in drug proceeds along.
It's interesting because I just read about the decency of things and the integrity of a lot of things. That decency and integrity is definitely starting to show up now, where, it's the mixing of church and state. That moral compass is definitely being spun around. And, man, it's just with the masses of people, and the masses amount of influence that we have been able to witness through video games, movies, music, whatever like that, and to kind of coalesce to you. It's like you are what you consume. It's like you truly become that, and I started realizing that even today, as I'm fasting now, it's like being able to consume nothing, but just be able to sit here and consume knowledge and water, and the water through the knowledge, and the knowledge through the water. And so, seeing and allowing the things to guide, and put things in perspective, it's important. I think it's important now. But to see a lot of these businesses are going under, like I said, I used to drive and I would see whole cities empty. So this is not good. This affects so many people. You got one or two or three people who are in facilitation of the building, then you got the workers. So this is a trickle down effect in many communities, where just to even get by and hold on to what they have is like by any means now for them. It's like the struggle is really different. It's really real. It really is. Oh, let me get rid of these videos. I forgot. Let me see. I think I did that. Did that. Yes, I did that one. I did that one. Yes. Okay. I don't know why I just took my whole battery down off of that. We talked about the terrorists. Well, we didn't talk about them, but it was definitely, yeah, messing with your neighbor, getting away with, stealing your neighbor's lemons, stealing your neighbor's lemons. But even in the midst of everything, even through the pain, it's still gain. Even through the pain, you still gotta laugh. You still gotta laugh. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. You sure do. You sure do. Hold on. Had to run through some of these funny videos. I always find a video that just be like, all right, this is funny. Like I had to find it. Sometimes it get heavy, even with all of this, but this is we family. We keep it, we keep it straight up, I keep it straight up. This ain't the one I wanted to click on, but it's just interesting to see this is like any and everywhere they are, it's like they're so disruptive. Like you seeing how the like the school educational the numbers are down. You're looking at let's say the dropout rates, tuition rates, the administration rates, the grades in the classes because you got somebody interrupting and pissing off the teacher, loses chain of thought. Like these are things that are happening all over the place. Whether you playing a game and playing around and stuff like that.
If somebody's vaping in here, don't. All right, or whatever is causing the smoke, that's not reasonable. It's bad. Or something that is not much bigger than.
It's like that. It's funny to them. It's funny to them now to disrupt. And it's good because it's affecting everything. Like nothing is going according to plan on that side of the fence. It's interesting because it's so smooth sailing right now for everybody on this side. And so I just want to show that. Oh yeah, I didn't even see that. Let's do it.
Hey, stop right now. Stop. Stop. Relax.
He just jumped.
John, so you just jump in the banister now. Relax. What's going on? Why are you jumping like that?
That's interesting. I was just seeing that because it reminds me, like I said, we were talking about the Ghostbuster thing. You know, there's so many people, I feel like they're just being possessed like that. But it literally is short circuiting. They become literally somebody else. It's almost like they're, what is that movie? Fifth Element, where the ugly face people, the ugly face people are, they shapeshifters. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's like, what makes you jump just randomly from a 2-story level, you know, and have just the most blankest of it's something else going on there. You see what I'm saying? And when I look at it, it's almost like, damn, this man could be under a complete possession in that whole little situation right now. But to just be doing, and it when you're looking at so many different angles of not just this, but just out and about, like this is happening in people's houses. Like you talking about, what is that? Like 300 million people in America. You know, I don't know how many houses is in America. How many houses in America? I mean, obviously, there's been many that have burnt down. How many houses are in America total? So you ain't even got enough houses to house everybody out here right now. As of July 1st, 2023, there were 145,344,636 housing units in the United States. That includes both occupied and vacant. So there's a large portion of vacant property. So even then, that scarcity is even shorter. So the number of housing units have increased each year. 1.3 previous. The majority of occupied homes in America are single family homes. About 125 million housing units in the United States were occupied. So 130 million houses. 130 million houses of craziness going on like this. People hopping off the banister doing all type of wild crazy stuff, but just it's interesting that there could have been a conjuring of the blood that has gotten spilt on these lands. And it's like they hopping in these people, you know, dancing around celebrating that they got freed from being in the land. And the house is on that land and they living in that particular house. And this dude becomes like, he doesn't even know. He's just like gets snapped in. It's almost like a funny Bill Cosby, that funny Bill Cosby ghost movie that just happened with this right now. The way he looked in it, like, what? Like he just full on jumped. Whether this dude looks like he's 25 or 75. You're seeing dudes who are even 75 doing this. That's what I'm saying. Like the possession of people now, the yanking out of people out of these boats, people jumping from the astronomical heights, just the amount of stuff that make me perceive this as that, you know. I just bring that to that attention. It looks like, ooh, it looks funny here, but no, that's way deeper. We looking at it from different eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of just really makes you look at when you're out and about who is walking around with something on them, you know? And it always humbles even just thinking about it like that, because it's like, damn, if I'm walking out and I'm an empty container, did something just latch onto my container? You know, and am I dragging a piece of toilet tissue spirit on my foot around with me? You know, it's so you never know with folks like this. You know, you just all of a sudden you just Tasmanian devil. You know, world WWE off of the top banister, and then just got the most straightest of looks. Like, ain't that what? I don't know what happened, but anyways. Oh man. Whew. That's what he did to that car. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, it was a reason that I got pulled right now, because I know that they was gonna do some bullshit at work. And I'm starting to realize that many of these drivers or these people that work on the road, they have no experience, or they're not equipped to be in all of these different type of driving conditions. Never driven, never seen snow, never driven in snow. So to be put in these positions where me as a driver who is completely safe, always driving to the T, you still got to drive for all of these folks that are on the road. You still got to deal with all of these. And a lot of these companies, especially these trucking companies, got a way with hire. They can be able to hire all any and every all type of people. You got a bunch of pedophiles driving as on the road, sex offenders and stuff like that, crossing all type of state lines. People are all under the border, under the table. So you got many of these people that are falling asleep at the wheel with these big, because all these companies need work right now. My field needs work. My field needs work. You're looking at all of these businesses where they didn't got ripped up, Hurricane Milton and Helene and all of yeah. There's plenty of wire that need to go up. But you're seeing this is the remnants. This is the result of them not wanting to hire us. This is the remnants of them firing us. This is the remnants of them hiring unqualified people. This is the remnants of them seeing this is what you get from that. And so everything that we're seeing right now is not touched by our blessed hands, is turning up to be, corrupt and contaminated. And it's showcasing that, this is happening at a much more higher level than they are going to report it. But we're going to report it here. That's why we're here. But the ley lines is activated. The ancestors is waking up and being freed and being able to be sent off in peace. I should have my Joss paper today, my ancestor paper money. We all need that. I know I needed that. Because nobody else in my family has ever done that. Nobody talks about this. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be feeling, I feel like I was on the right path, seeking the wisdom that I was seeking. And I'm glad I was on that path, because it's a lonely walk. And trying to seek knowledge and truth and walking the righteousness as best as we possibly can. So to be able to try to learn all of this out of thin air, because we was in Jacob's trouble and distracted and disturbed and distressed by everything that was out there, to be able to have come out on the other side of this, all praise, I could truly say. To be able to witness and see things as they happen and what we see, it's like, come on, man. We are truly, truly grateful. Anyways, what is it? Gotta laugh at it. Exactly. Get up. Exactly. Get up and go to work. So Many times I didn't work with folks that didn't want to get up and work. Literally, taking a cigarette break. The cigarette break is long. The cigarette break is longer than the break. You know. So yeah, you're starting to see a lot of work that is poor quality. Definitely poor quality. This one crazy.
Você é o Tarzan. Olha lá. Pegou, o cara pegou ele. Nossa, pegou o braço dele. Perigo. Machucou o braço aí?
You got bit by a crocodile. Like, yeah, you can't go out nowhere and have fun. The wild animals are not going to allow you guys to have fun in the most erotic and exotic places anymore. Those places are being overran by the animals and plants of the land. So being rushed and ran out of the water like that, and then getting a nice souvenir as you go. The crocodile's giving you a nice tooth in your back as you go. That's torture. That's horror. That's trauma. Be able to encapsulate that. Encapsulate that. Always watching something funny. I was grabbing some of the stuff I had.
Mom, what is that? You guys know what it is? It's a hard freaking blue jellyfish. Mom, what is that? I don't know. I'm gonna be mad for the rest of the day. It's hard jellyfish. Mom, if you don't tell me what that is, I'm gonna be mad for the rest of the day. What is that? I don't know. It's a blue jellyfish. Okay, I'm mad for the rest of the day.
Yep. That's why anytime I go to the beach, I'm always picking up trash. It's always just something crazy that you'll find. And then the kids is touching it. It's like, yeah. But yeah. Gotta have a chuckle here and there,
In deep trouble.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm playing football.
You ain't playing football.
You just watched me throw a touchdown. I'm most definitely playing football here.
You know I downloaded the app, right? So I can see everything.
Huh? Ah! The fuck?
That's what I was saying about these video games. You never know what is going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. But it's like zapping people's minds. That's why it's like we've been we've been unplugging from the matrix and getting back into what we're supposed to be getting back into. But the deeper you're getting into that, it's like the more you start becoming something else, and I'm glad I had a lot of the time to be out with nature. And it's plenty of times I could have bought the Oculus and been in my hotel rooms and just sitting there doled out and stuff like that, zooming and flicking through everything, and missing out on all the opportunities that I was when I was outside and having those experiences of animals walking up to me. Yeah, it was amazing. Like birds flying down and looking at me in my eyes, like, what up, man? And then, the deers was all around me all the time. Like, that was an amazing feeling. I would go out during nighttime, 111-222-333-444, depending on the time that I was off of work. And I would just go outside and it would be freezing because I was in like Colorado and Utah, and Wyoming, Idaho, just everywhere cold. Montana, yeah, I was everywhere cold. And it was good to see the deer. It just, and then to know more information about them, it's like, oh, I was so blessed. I was amongst some blessed energy. But no, it's just being able to go outside now. That's why we're trying to. I was, I'll give my niece and nephew, all the kids need to be outside. That's the best place where they need to be at. But when you're inside like that now, even now, it's hard to get people outside because it's cold. They're like, "Oh, I'm already outside. It's already cold out. Even if I gotta go to the grocery store and all this stuff, yeah." So, but I say this because it's like everybody's the video games. Like I said, everything is double teaming and tag teaming on everybody right now. Whether it's the food industries, whether it's the insurance industries, it's everything is all doubling up some way somehow. And I say the video games is because you got something that is literally strapped around your head. It's like you know what I'm saying? It's strapped around your head. Like you can at least look away, when you got a controller and you're sitting on a couch or something like that. Like it's getting more personal now with every single stimulation and temptation that we uh, draw ourselves to or are accustomed to. Like, look at even the 3D printed big old giant Barbie dolls, the sex dolls now. You're seeing all of these different things where it's transhumanizing us and getting us away from the true human nature of who we are as, the true chosen ones of this land. So to get away from that land, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. That's why I'll be like, just put the games down for right now. Like truly down, and the reading, it's like the more I read, the more my eyes start like clearing up. Like I'm actually like my vision. How like my vision used to be a little blurry. I don't know. But the moment I started reading my book, I don't even really use my glasses like I was using. But when I read my Bible, my eyes is clear as day. I'm sitting there reading the Bible. So yeah, I think about my eyes. I think about everything now even more. I think about my kidney. I think about my lungs. I think about everything a lot more now. Especially that I'm like fasting and all I've been drinking is water right now. It's like, it's like I want these things to be spotless and clean now. It's like I can do it. It's like it's not that hard, It's not that hard to get away from the things that it's just like, that's not what I'm accustomed to doing. Ew, why am I eating this stuff? What, So, just being mindful, I guess, helps you be mindful.
I ever seen, and I don't even blame these Asians for playing on y'all stupidity. Like, this is low IQ activity.
Got the music in there. I ain't never gone and got a pedicure and got my feet done and got no Hennessy toe shit like that done. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where we're going. That's why I've always wanted to open up our own stuff because that is just they're still clowning into that Juck and Jive and 83 stuff. It's like the more and more, as we go along, because those businesses are struggling. Quiet as kept, y'all. I've been everywhere. I'm telling you. There's even the massage parlors. They're getting tapped right now, and they're getting cracked down. I don't think I put it up before. I think I closed it, but there was an article or a video that I had that was showcasing the crackdown on the massage parlors and the salons. So yeah, they're struggling where they have to double up and stuff like that. You have a thing where you got Asian women committing crime and they committing crime to go to jail to make a friend. That's what you got older Asian women doing right now is going to prison, commit a crime and go to prison so they can make a friend because they never had one. I'm not making that up. That's some real stuff right now going on right now where you got people who are really doing just crimes just because.
I wasn't told, so I wasn't told. Also, there's people here, and I was going to get a haircut, so. Okay.
So I don't know what after that. I'm not trying to get in trouble. I mean, do nothing. I mean, I'm just trying to get a haircut and stuff. Get out of the rain and stuff.
Do you have like appointments?
And nobody told me. Nobody told me anything. No.
No, you're not in trouble right
Okay,
now.
all right,
They just
cool.
asked us.
All right, because the cops are here. I mean, what the fuck?
You got IDs?
No, it's like that's another thing. Because honestly, I've been no, like right now it's like no, it's my wallet stolen. So I'm trying to like get all my stuff together and like get a new wallet and stuff.
Are you from here?
Kind of, yeah.
What does that mean? What do you mean, kind of? Yeah.
Well, I'm in between housing.
What's your name?
Eric. And what did I do anything wrong?
Well, he reported that he told you to leave and you didn't leave.
I don't know. Nobody told me to leave.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just trying to find a place to like. Honestly, I was gonna get a haircut and stuff. Just trying to find a place to like gather my stuff in between housing.
Well, lucky for you, the rain is kind of died up. Hey, what's your middle initial? We just gotta know who we're dealing, man. I've never talked to you before.
Yeah, I mean.
You said your wallet was stolen. Did you have like a driver's license or state ID for Illinois?
Yeah.
Where's the last place you were staying? I know you said you're in between.
Here.
Like Peoria?
Yeah, I was at a nursing home here.
Medical?
Before that, I was in Rockford.
Yeah, medical condition or?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like schizophrenia, PTSD.
Okay. Do you take medications?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Yeah.
Or are you out?
I have some.
Okay. Do you have a doctor here that you see or?
My what do you mean, psychiatrist?
I mean, who prescribes you your
Why do you need to know this stuff? Am I even under arrest?
Right now you're detained.
So do I have the right to remain silent?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're behind warrants or
This is the American crime is different now. I hope y'all see this. American crime is completely different right about now. Yeah.
Come on. Come in.
Okay, this was a video that I saw that I couldn't stop laughing at either. She had me laughing too. I was like, yeah.
Hello.
It's all black folks.
Come on.
I ain't gonna lie, my
Come in.
face funny too.
You do this.
Black folks always laughing at something. We always laugh at something. They don't want me laughing. All right. Let me get rid of some of these. We just running through some stuff. I did the last little video. I was looking at a couple little funny things, but I had a lot more of my informative stuff that was I didn't pull down because I didn't want to overload this, and I already had these up. I just felt like on my Noga Height day, I just like laughing. Yeah, you gotta have a laugh here and there. I laugh at myself majority of the time. But yeah, she couldn't go in there. That dude's new. He looked like a Balchinian, but we're working.
Are you running? Aren't they scared? Wouldn't you get already running?
That's good. I bring that up because it's just like I have been talking about this rat infestation everywhere, you know, and it's everywhere, y'all. Literally everywhere. It ain't here. It ain't here. But I'm just saying. That's crazy. Like it's a drought in Wisconsin. Like I don't get that part. But not bring that up just because it's the amount of people not paying attention on the road. And it's like, I don't know what it was, but I was able to see this beforehand, because before it was something there, but now it was like, oh no, stay still, because everybody is distracted, everybody is emotional, they jacked up right now. It's people getting into fender benders everywhere. You looking down the street, it's cars is just jacked up raggedy. I remember seeing this. Yeah. Didn't know if that was real or not, but it's always something out there. I don't know. But yeah, see, that's why I was like, oh, nope. I think I was ending it off on that. It's like, for us, we all good, But for everybody else, it's just too dangerous to be out for them. And even while they at home, you can't even be, it ain't safe for you to be at home either. You got a tree falling right through your roof. So I just try to showcase everything that is actually particularly happening in reality. Like, this ain't no stuff we're just making up, just not making up, Let me see, let me make sure I get through all of these.
Pleading guilty and sentenced for his part in a deadly shootout from 2023 in Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office says that Douglas Jacobs pleaded guilty to several charges, including second-degree murder in connection to the death of Eric Oberholzer. He's been sentenced to 30 years, with the first 10 in the Oklahoma Department of Corrections. The DA's office says that shootout from April 2023 was a result of a fight between two gangs. Multiple people were arrested.
So now it's like they're the ones they're the gangs, It's like they're the gangs now, It's just interesting, You just see in the conversation the words.
A man is in custody after an hours-long standoff yesterday with police.
According to police, Nicholas Reich was yelling and pointing a rifle at a crew working outside of his home in Pepperell Road. Part of that road was shut down as police tried to talk to him. Nobody was injured in that incident.
Nick. Oh, say Nick. Yeah, I think that's all of them on there. That's all of them on there. I'll be able to get to my other videos real quick. But yeah, now I'm going to get through these and make sure I didn't skip on any of them. I'm on here. I already did that one. Okay. 8 qualities. That was a good 8 qualities. Just being a decent person. I know I'm working on it. It is what it is. That's why we're here, Caught up in spiritual court. But yeah, that's interesting. And it's not it's that many houses. It's that many houses. It's not a lot of houses for a lot of people that are in the country right now. It's like 2, 3, 4 inside of a house. It's not enough people to cover. It's definitely not. Let me make sure. Ooh, turn them off. Turn it off. Oh, that's the actual crash. Oh, man. Y'all see that? Oof, I didn't see that. There it go. Oh. It just was like on time. Yeah, he tried to turn it last second. And it's like, yeah, y'all even trying to recover, black boxes and stuff like that. Like, It's different when you're over land. When you're in water, you're strapped down. You know, for some reason, them seatbelts, they just lock when you're going through a situation like that. Anyways, I don't want to just keep playing it, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. But that is what's going on. That is what's going on. We literally seeing, you know, the alignments happening, things are happening, falling into places they're supposed to. And so finally seeing what is supposed to be done. Finally seeing it happen on the macro level and the micro level, and the micro level and the macro level. Every direction is you getting hit with a Mike Tyson punch. That's what's happening. Esau's on a seesaw, and ain't no more hee-haw. It's the back and forth. It's the constant struggle with everything. It's the humility. While I was on the road, I was seeing this. The amount of like people shook, you know. You gotta understand a lot of the younger generation they're into the fantasy football games and the betting apps and stuff like that, you know. So the enticingness for the younger generation is, you know, it's there, and they're salaciously eating it up, you know. So a lot of them are waking up right now, but you know, you kind of put it in perspective on what it looks like on our side of the fence and then all of the other side of the fences. Like I said, everybody else is going through it right now. You know, many of the Arab and Indian businesses are getting attacked because of what happened just a little while ago with, you know, Vivek Ramaswamy and all of the talk between, you know, the H-1B visas with Elon Musk and Trump, and Elon throwing the all hail Hitler, you know, chest salute. You know, all of these things have, they're heavier now. So they're lingering. You got people who are holding on to things much more harder and longer. And so the compounded interest of somebody driving down the freeway, down the street, you know, driving behind somebody, they driving fast. Obviously, they breaking the speed limit, but they driving behind somebody who's slow, beeping and honking the horn, drive around them and look at them and see whatever color they are. You know what I'm saying? Is their vendetta for the day. It's like their negative energy is preying on somebody. And it's like, if you don't welcome it in, nothing's going to happen to you. I had gems and crystals all around my vehicle. I drive and speed limit, do everything. Wasn't running nobody off, wasn't doing nothing crazy and anything like that. And for the most part, I didn't cause anything to happen. But the world around me, oh, hell no. The amount of crazy stuff I see with people. So that's why it's good to actually see these things. The amount of money a lot of these companies lost, the amount of people that have passed away and have fortunes sitting on. Even these houses that got stuff all in the walls. All the probate courts that, you know, families are going back and forth. That when somebody passes away, that is a messy situation, because then literally the greed comes out of people and the entitlement. They literally feel that they are entitled to a person, especially this person who's you're a complete stranger to them, or they're a complete stranger to them. But Those are the messy situations. That's why there's a lot of these people are in courts right now. You got people who have passed on, the really, really old ones, the really, really old ones. And they have so much sitting on, they ain't did nothing with it. They sat on all they was on a Scrooge McDuck, literally. They robbed, raped, and pillaged and squeezed the last of the toothpaste out of the tube on that ass. Didn't do nothing with it, and then they left with it. Nothing. And so now you got all of the barbarians down here trying to scrummage around and fight. And now they got to fight it in a legal way, which a lot of people don't have the patience or the sustainability to be able to handle, just get fidgety and shit. All that Starbucks coffee start kicking in. But just the amount of probate court of trying to go to deal with situations where somebody passed away, that's a lot of people over the last 5 years, beloveds. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of paperwork that these folks is wrapped up doing right now. I'm trying to paint this. A lot of people didn't get no coverage or had no coverage. It won't be covered. From the east to the west coast, from the south to the north. You got the Indians, they're being kicked out of the U.S. government's, nipple. So now they got to deal with, how they going to get it? How they going to do it? You got Trump doing whatever he want to do right now, and it's all by design. Let it happen because it's supposed to happen. Because at the end of that, it's going to be the face of embarrassment, and I know it too well. So that's why I can be humble to say that. The fact is, they won't be able to recover. I have resilience. You can't get rid of me, But for these folks, the Most High is getting rid of them because they realize that you were not significant. You did not contribute. You destroyed. It's just unfortunate. Like, you didn't do nothing with all of what you did. That now you are trying to run back to us and cleave. Move back to the hood and cleave. You realize, like, these people have to move back into the hood. They're going to be living in the jungles. They're going to be living everywhere. You're going to see Becky selling, weave packs. You're going to see Becky and you're going to see Kyle selling do-rags and incense. So it's a whole new world out there for folks. It's a whole new world. People have truly lost a lot. They're losing their damn mind and having to realize that, all of the extra responsibilities kicked in and kicked up. All of the going to this concert or that concert, those is done. All of these bands that people used to go and see all the time and all, all of the going out and, taking trips and all that, driving across country, all of that is done. You're taking these trips and I'm seeing on the side of the curb the cars that people are going on road trips breaking down. That's literally what's happening. People trying to go on vacation, do whatever they want to do, and the cars are broken down on the side of the road and it's snowing or it's raining, it's windy, whatever the case may be. But the tires are busted. The engines are blown. And they're in the middle of nowhere. It's literally in the middle of nowhere, all of these different locations. So everywhere you go, every way that you do what you want to do, it's not happening. Everything is rocking and shaking. All of the ground under us has been moving around in some form or fashion, opening up big old manholes, disturbing all of the water pipes and mains, all of the stuff that y'all designed and built. Y'all didn't allow us to be in any of these board meetings. We weren't any of the senior civil engineers. That made it very difficult to have anybody to have any vertical economics. And so now that you're seeing that our blessed hands are not touching any of this, it is getting poor quality. And I'm seeing these folks out here working for countless days, and just people standing on the side of the road, and they don't have no clue of what to do. The only people that know how to fix things is us. The only people that know how to do it right, the only people that know how to put some extra sauce on it, put that swag on it, it's us. And you're kicking out everybody else. So who's going to pick all the fruit? Most of the people who are in charge of these lands is croaking over. And they don't have nobody out there to do any of that land. There's so much stuff that is out here that is up for grabs and it's empty. And you're looking at a lot of the major cities, potholes, manholes, all of the government services are all occupied. The courts are filled up everywhere. Court buildings. I've never heard so many like lawyers and court stuff going on right now. And it's like, it's so interesting because it's like not being over, getting your emotions in check. Being overly emotional is what gets us in trouble. I know that very much so. And you can see it in every situation, whether being at a bar and getting in a fight, arguing with a significant other, anything like that. Our emotions are what we need to be in control of. And I'm looking at that even with myself, when I look at myself in the mirror. So I know that it is always a work in progress. Sometimes you don't get that chance. Sometimes you actually make a mistake where you weren't in control of your emotions, and now you're standing in front of a judge about to do 25 to life. And that's what you're seeing. That's what I'm showcasing with American crime. Is that you're seeing people who are, acting like they, schizophrenic or whatever like that. It's like, no, you're perfectly sane. And they allowed these loopholes to keep sift through the ones that can still get, through with the $500 bonds and stuff like that. You guys are still trying to pull that off. You can't pull that off when somebody dismembered their baby's head type of stuff. Like, come on. There's been too many. We have literally been their guinea pigs. We have been the litmus test. We've been the data and analysis and the research that now the AI is looking back at all of this stuff. You gotta think about that. That AI is cold work. It's going through all of those cases, looking up everything, every person who was involved, every little thing. And it's tying all of these people back up. And it's bringing up all of the cameras, even with every little thing that people do when they're off the clock and everything. It's getting really real. That Skynet is real. And it's tracing every single one of them back right now. Tracing every one of them back. And it's bringing up dirt, and it's just coming out of nowhere. It's coming out of nowhere on a lot of these that thought that they thought that they got away from Michael Myers and Jason, but all is being revealed in the sky right now. The planetary family is coming to visit, and they realize that you left a dildo at the beach as a little kid just picked up. It's a crazy world. But all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, to the Heavenly Mother, the Holy Spirit, to Brother Yahweh Shai, to our angels, to all the elements, to everything and everything unseen, working in tandem, working together to be able to reveal good and bad, for us to be able to learn and accept and embrace and adjust, to make peace with things that do disturb us, and realize that we keep our eye on the mission, keep our eye on the prize, and never let go of that mustard seed that you have for us. You are a jealous God. You are a jealous God. And I don't want to put anything else on that pedestal. And so I pray you work on me and work on the brothers and sisters out there around the world and the nation, in and out, that we can do 100% and up of the work. Go hard every day. And the time that we need it right now, I pray that you give us all the strength and the courage. Let the tears be masked behind the rain and wipe them. Any pain, emotional, mental, physical, financial, psychological, with any of the brothers and sisters, that it is removed from them now and forever. I rebuke any of it. And I want to fill my jug up on this beautiful Nogaheit day with love and overfloweth with blessings and clarity. That even in this struggle, this is a great time of change. And this is the change that is needed. So all praise for everything that you have done for all of us. You didn't have to. You showed us grace and mercy. You showed us true favor. As I read in the Bible this morning, have I not? That's what you said. You said, have you not brought us up out of Egypt? And you have. Forgive me for forgetting. Forgive me for forgetting the forefathers and our ancestors that walked before us and the work that they put in to pass the baton for me to be here in this very beautiful moment on the other side of the fence of what you have shown to us, that if you hold on to that faith of a mustard seed, I'll show you. But if you deny, you turn away, you transgress and backslide, hey, you can be over there with them. I'm just so appreciative that being ye separate, saith the Lord, and touching not the unclean thing, to be able to receive me and everyone else. Thank you. Thank you. I ain't gonna get all mushy on here, but Selah, so be it. Amen. I'm just happy, as we should be. But I'm gonna rest my lips because I don't know what time the sun go down. I know what time it come up. All right, that ain't bad. Well, there's a lot of rain and snow. No, not around me. My bad. That's not around me. I ain't got no. I do. I got rain. No, it ain't gonna happen until Tuesday. But it is cloudy outside, and it's like still to maintain that sunshine smile. I'm just thankful to keep that energy and stay joyful as we have to. Life is hard, and life is always going to be hard, but it's how you going to make it. It ain't got to be. As long as you got prayer in your life, Most High is in control of anything that is in front of you. He's not going to give you more than you can handle. He's not going to give you more than you can handle. But you got to do the work. To whom much is given, much is required. And it's the time where it takes the resilience and the courage to stand up and believe in yourself. I truly do. I trust myself. I know I'm a good, decent man. As much as I may be complicated, I may throw a fit, I may be emotional, but down in my core, I'm a beautiful, amazing, strong, humble servant of the Most High God, out here sent on this beautiful mission to be able to get in these trenches. So yes, all will be good. Man, let me chill and then let me figure out what I'm gonna do. And then supposed to be back later, but I'm going to enjoy my Noga hike day. And I hope that you guys all enjoyed the information. It was kind of like I said, there's so much information, and I still want to incorporate the teaching like I did even with the decent man. There's many articles that I have that are like that kind of help humble me and kind of bring me back to center and focus on, being in spiritual court, knowing that, hey, I can put my hand up and be like, you know what, I'm guilty of this, I'm guilty of that. I messed up on this, I messed up on that. That's what we do. We have to communicate. Communication is the key to healing, and understanding is the key to healing. Sometimes people don't truly understand where you're coming from because they're not really, comprehending, because you may not be communicating in the right way. You may be communicating in the wrong way, and it rubs people the wrong way. So, but this is where the time you figure it out and fix the things that are within yourself. So I know that's something that I'm doing, and I know that's something that you're doing. I know that's something that everybody's doing. So let's just keep it up. Keep up the good work. It's only the start. It's only the beginning. You're doing a great job, everybody. Everybody out there, pat yourself on the back. You're going to be all right. So